Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto is Laxus' brother in fairy tale. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by LordofLust and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Prologue start. Crocus, the capital of Fiori, was once again going through the busiest time of the year. Now that the Grand Magic Games was going to start tomorrow, guilds from all over Ishgar was showing up to win the title as the strongest guild. For Naruto, this city was completely amazing, since his guild was located in a rock-filled wasteland. He had only seen smaller cities before when going on different quests, but the capital was overwhelming him. Naruto was currently exploring the city wearing a golden armor that his dad had insisted he wore, since he was going to be a surprise to his grandfather and his older brother Laxus, and Naruto really like happy surprises, so he fully supported the idea. Currently Naruto was looking for his team, he had lost them in the mass, the rest of his guild had already booked in at a huge hotel, so at least he could find them. Out of the corner of his eyes, he saw two men standing in the shadow of a bar clearly drunk. He decided to ask them for help. Excuse me," Naruto spoke as he poked the two men on the shoulders. "What do you want? How may we be of service?" The men's attitude suddenly changed as they saw Naruto shadowing over them in his armor. "I'm looking for 4 girls who unfortunately lost their way in the city," Naruto lied, not wanting to admit he was the one who was lost. "They must really be sticking out. You see, the leader of them has blue hair and shows a lot of cleavage and wears all white," Naruto said as he took out a picture of a gorgeous woman. "No, sorry, we haven't seen her, but I wish we had." The last part came out as a whisper. "Too bad, I will continue my search, have a nice day." Naruto spoke as he left. For a guy who wore a really scary armor, he was surprisingly nice. 7 hours later. Naruto was curled up into a ball sobbing on a bench in a big park. "It's no good, I need to get back to the inn before midnight, but I have no idea where I am." Naruto continued to sob. While Naruto was sobbing on the bench, he caught the attention of another group that happened to pass by. A petite little girl with blue hair, a woman with blonde hair and a big bust, a woman in armor who was dragging to unconscious along. One of the boys had weird pink hair and the other was strangely naked. Urza paid no mind to him. Lucy also wanted to avoid him, his armor was freaking her out. However, Wendy ran over and instantly wanted to help. Is something wrong?" Wendy asked nervously as she tried to avoid eye contact. When Naruto raised his hand, Urza quickly prepared to jump in if he tried anything, but instead he just pat Wendy on top of the head. "You are so cute," Naruto said as he rubbed her head, not noticing the huge blush she had. "Do you want some candy?" Naruto asked as he showed her a bag full of gum. Wendy was about to take one before Urza stopped her. "Wait, Wendy, you can't accept candy from a stranger," Urza scolded her. "Well, my master told me to keep my real name a secret, but my stage name during the games will be Alexei. It's nice to meet all of you," Naruto greeted with a polite bow. "Best, that's good enough, Wendy, go ahead," Urza said as Wendy quickly took a gum and threw into her mouth. "So, you seemed rather upset. Is there anything we can help with?" Lucy asked from behind Urza, still scared by his appearance. "Yes, it seems that I'm unable to find the inn where the teams are, and I have used all my jewels on ramen and sour gum," Naruto sobbed. "Sour?" Wendy asked before her eyes shut down. "Why haven't you asked anyone for directions?" Lucy asked. "I tried, but every time I approached someone they would run away from me," Naruto said as he stared sadly down into the ground, and Lucy felt something in her chest which was called guilt. She should judge anyone from how they dress. "He sounds friendly." "Well, we were headed for the inn right now. You can just follow us," Lucy offered. "Thank you so much," Naruto yelled as he went down on all 4 and his head touched his ground. Lucy had an awkward deja vu feeling from when she first met Natsu. "You are all so kind and I don't even know your names yet. I only know this cute one is Wendy," Naruto said as he began to follow the 3 girls and 2 still unconscious boys. "Oh, I'm Lucy, that's Urza, the naked guy is Gray, and the other is Natsu," Lucy answered. "Urza, I feel like I have heard that name before, but from where?" Naruto questioned. "Who is the armor guy?" Natsu asked as he woke up. "And where is Happy?" Natsu said as he looked around the dark park. "That's Alexei, who we are showing to the inn, and Happy and Carla are waiting with Master and everyone else." Naruto could feel a chill roll up his spine as the pink-haired guy stared at him. "So if you're competing as well, that must mean you are really strong, right?" Natsu asked as he cracked his knuckles. "Drop it, Natsu, you are shaming the name of fairy tale," Urza scolded him. The moment Naruto heard that name, he paled beneath the mask of all guilds he could run into. "Alright, fine, so hey big armor guy, what guild are you from?" Natsu asked. "Oh, isn't the sun beautiful today?" Naruto questioned, causing everyone to look up at the moon. "Alexei, are you alright?" Urza asked. My name is Jeff," Naruto spoke in a small timid voice. There was a long silence after that where no one spoke until they arrived, and as it turned out the inn was about 200 feet from the bench. Naruto cried on. "Thank you so much for all you have done, if you ever need anything I will be at your service," Naruto said as he offered a bow. "What a weirdo," Natsu said as Naruto ran away up the stairs. "I liked him," Wendy said. Finally Naruto made it to his room. Opening it he was met with two different reactions. First he was tackled down. "Husband, where were you? I was so worried." The second was a gun to the side of his head. "Where the fuck have you been all day?" was yelled at him. "Esdeath, I'm still not your husband," and for the seconds Revi, "I was simply taking a stroll through town, everything was under control." Naruto lied. The two other girls did not get into the conversation since Tear usually was just silent, but Flare felt out of place as the only one who wasn't S-class yet. Naruto took a quick look around the room. "Revi, you need to stop drinking," Naruto said as he tried to count the countless bottles. They had only had this room for like 10 hours. "And also happy Halloween," Naruto said, which confused a bit until they all saw the huge pumpkin man outside. "Is this on?" "Oh it is, ahem. Hello all 113 guild from all over Ishgar and welcome to this year's Grand Magic Games. Now unfortunately 113 guilds is a bit much, so we have decided to make a surprise elimination round. Only 8 guilds will get to move on to tomorrow, so yeah, good luck and remember rule NR.1, there is no rules." With that the giant pumpkin man disappeared. "He seemed nice," Naruto commented. A staircase appeared out in front of the balcony. "Come on, we are going to be the first to arrive," Naruto yelled as they all began to run. "With Toma. It should be around a small hour before the first team arrives," he thought as he settled down into a relaxing chair. "Hello, we are here," Naruto spoke. What, how it's not even been 2 minutes yet, Kabo?" Toma dressed as Mato asked in shock. "Well, we figured that looking for a door was boring, so I just ran through the wall until we arrived here. No rules, right?" the masked Naruto asked in a voice filled with mirth. "Hey Kabo. From your reaction I will say we came here first, thank you, we will return back to the inn now," Naruto said as he shook the small mascot's hand. "Nah Alexei, maybe if you want to I can give you a victory kiss, or Mon Alexei, maybe if you want to I can give you a victory kiss, or maybe you want something more when we get back to the inn." Esdeath flirted as she put her hand on his chest. "Not when I'm the room, do it somewhere else then," Revi said and was instantly met with the eyes of death. "I knew you whore, you want me to take me away from my true love so you can have him, but he is mine, and I will never surrender him to any of you filthy whores. Right my love." The last part came out more calmly, but when she looked around Naruto was already gone. GMG Day 1. Naruto couldn't help but feel sorry for the fairy tale team from yesterday. They were such nice people, yet the audience were booing at them. However, it seemed that they had a B team, and even better, his big brother was on it. He would love getting to fight him. If he was as strong their father says he is, then it will be a good fight. The audience were clearly confused. They were used to that Sabertooth was number 1 and Lamia Scale in second, but there was still 2 teams left. Naruto stood nervously thinking about all the fans and admirers he was about to get. There would probably be a ton of women who would want him to ride on their chest, Naruto thought as he giggled a little. And now on second place Sabertooth. The silence outside only made Naruto's grin gross. "We are the champions, we will be loved and respected, and we will all become famous, and I will be asked to be in Weekly Sorcerer and be posing with hot women in their bikinis." Gugugigig. Drool was leaking from the mask. "I think Naruto broke," Revi commented. "He seems normal to me," Tear commented. "He is so dreamy," Esdeath said as she fought the lust to rape him. Naruto, however, still in his perverted fantasy, took note of Flare's silence. "Flare, come over here." With quick steps she was at his side, a huge blush spread across her face as Naruto held her hand. "You don't need to be nervous, I will protect you," Naruto said in a soothing voice, but as nice as this was she couldn't ignore the ice-cold eyes staring into her neck. And now the guild who came in on the first place. A guild that only recently has been recognized as a legitimate guild, Raven Tail. As Naruto planted the flag of Raven Tail down into the sand there was silence, but slowly the applause rose and became higher and higher. "They love us," Naruto exclaimed as he took everything in. Naruto ignored the weird spinning dwarf that came towards him and passed right by as it stopped by Esdeath and sniffed her leg. "Nice perfume, men." Before Esdeath killed Ichiya, Naruto lifted him over to his own group. "Here you go, little boy." Naruto smiled. Naruto then looked towards the fairy tale group he met yesterday, but they all stared at him with angry eyes, or well, when he didn't, Naruto quickly went back and hid himself behind Esdeath. "Want me to kill them so we can have hot sex on top of their corpses?" Esdeath asked and was met with a blank stare. "Well, only if you want me to," Esdeath said nervously as she avoided Naruto's eyes. "You know you are really sexy and I would love to bang you, but you make it so difficult by being so weird." Naruto as tears started to form in her eyes. "Please, I'm so sorry, I promise I will stop being weird, just please give me your D." She screamed so loudly everyone could hear her. This is what I mean by being weird. Naruto said as she clung to his leg. Alright, it seems that everyone is ready, so we can finally start on this year's first event. Hidden. Please note that all other events will be marked as until said event starts, so no preparations will be made. Please everyone choose one member to enter the event. I will explain the rules of the game after every player are on the field. The commentator said over the speakers. Revi, you are our best seeker, are you in? Naruto asked. Sure, I wanted to shoot something anyway. Revi said with a small grin. Alright, the participants of this year's first event are Revi from Raven Tail, Rufus Lore from Sabertooth, Duvia Laxer from Fairy Tail Team B, Lion Vastia from Lamia Scale, Eve Tierim from Blue Pegasus, Eth Vanderwood from Mermaid Heel, Jaeger from Quattro Cerberus, Brave Fullbuster from Fairy Tail Team A. Everyone except the 8 participants had returned to their own small stands. Above them all was a much bigger reserved area for each of the guild. It was nice to have everyone in the guild right above watching. It gave some encouragement. The rules were fairly easy to understand. If you hit someone you earn a point, but if you get hit you lose one. Sounds easy enough for Revi. A few minutes into the event and Naruto was already doing his victory dance as he was looking at the leaderboard. Revi kept on getting 1+, while everyone except Sabertooth was in minus. Revi was in the lead with 33 points, followed by Rufus with 29 points, and on the third Eve with 0 points. The rest was just sad. Raven Tail 10p. Sabertooth 8p. Fairy Tail Team B 2p. Lamia Scale 3p. Blue Pegasus 6p. Mermaid Heel 4p. Quattro Cerberus 0p. Fairy Tail Team A 1p. So the puppy guild became dead last, not surprising. Good job, Revi. Naruto gave her thumbs up. Too easy, I just hope the battles are more fun. Revi said as she settled down in her chair. First battle, Flare Corona, Raven Tail's Lucy Hertfilia, Fairy Tail A. Good luck, I will step in if necessary, but still do your best. Naruto would prefer if Flare could win fair and square, however they did have a backup plan if thing went out of hand. In it to win it. Excuse me. Naruto yelled as he quickly left the booth they were seated in, while Flare was on her way into the middle of the arena. Oh, it appears that the leader of the Raven Tail squad wants to make a small announcement before the battle starts. Markov looked over to his son Ivan on the other side of the arena, looking for some kind of sign of foul play, but instead Ivan looked confused. Hello everyone, Alexei here. I would just like to quickly inform everyone here that a bet has been made on this fight. The loser of this will appear in the next week's Sorcerer magazine, completely naked. That was all. Naruto ended the transmission with a happy smile. Meanwhile, down in the arena, Lucy was yelling, refusing everything, but no one could hear her over the audience screaming for either of them to lose. Tits. Bouncy. Butt. Ass. Naruto really felt he could rely on this audience. They were simple-minded, much like himself. Even Makarov admitted that this was probably not such a bad bet. How goes the fight? Naruto asked as he had returned to the booth with popcorn and a small soda, a dumb strategy for a guy wearing a mask. Can you remember the advice you once gave her? Tyr asked. Sure, to always keep her cool and stay calm. Naruto answered. Well, she forgot your advice, bitch gone wild. Revi commented as she stole Naruto's popcorn. Oh, so Lucy is a celestial spirit mage, never met one before, is she strong? Naruto asked. Meh. 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 So nothing special, alright. Naruto was content with the answers given. As the battle continued, Naruto sat back and relaxed until Lucy summoned the spirit Gemini and he could feel her magic power build up. I'm switching in, that spell could seriously wound Flare. Everyone nodded before Naruto cast a small spell, Circle Ancient Magic. Mind Switch. As Naruto mind switched with Flare, Lucy was almost finished with the incantation to the spell Uranometria. Sorry about this, Lucy, but I'm going to hurt you a little. Ancient Magic. Wormhole. For a short while Lucy's beautiful magic shined like nothing else, but as soon as it attacked it all disappeared straight down a black spiraling pit. And no way, my strongest magic just like that. Lucy said in disbelief at how easily it was taken care of. Great Tree Arc. Tree Fist. An enormous fist came flying up from the ground and connected with Lucy. In the stands, Urza remembered having seen the exact same magic being used by Azuma from Grimoire Heart. Lucy was left unconscious and Flare was declared the winner. First. Makarov addressed Mavis. Yes, they definitely cheated, but how I don't know. I saw no signs of anyone from the sidelines using magic, however they are not playing fair. It's been a perfect day for Raven Tail with a top score of 20p. Could this become the new strongest guild in Fiori? Jenny, what do you think? The commentators were talking to each other. Well, I still believe in my own guild, of course. We are just about to start our battle and I'm sure Ren will win. Jenny said, seemingly happy. I'm so sorry for my disgraceful defeat. Flare apologized, now back in her own body. It's okay, Flare, everybody makes mistakes, isn't that right, girls? Naruto looked to the other three girls who all decided to look the other way. Alright, don't mind them, a victory is a victory no matter what, besides 1 week from now there will be nudes of Lucy in the magazine gugugugug. More drool was leaking. The next 2 matches was a bore for Naruto with a victory to Blue Pegasus and Sabertooth. The last fight of the day had actually been really exciting, but had a crappy ending with Mystigan from Fairy Tail B passing out mid-spell. Story starts. At a load of this bukkake party. Naruto shouted as he stood on a table and sprayed champagne over all the other celebrating Raven Tail members. It had been a long time since they celebrated this hard, but they were in the lead. Naruto was not wearing any of his heavy golden armor, but the entire place was reserved only for Raven Tail, so he was in the clear. Alright, listen up pussies and degenerates, we had a good day today, but we can still do a lot better, therefore I have decided to personally join tomorrow's next event, but that's not all. Naruto had to take a break due to the loud applause he was getting for the other members. I'm sure all of you can remember the blonde fairy tale girl with the enormous bust and a tight arse. It seemed they remembered if he should judge from their reaction. Now since I'm sure all of the males at least remember her, I have decided to make a bet. Before the game's end I will have tapped that, you can place your bet over with Revi, if I can do it or I can't. Naruto announced, still completely drunk. Naruto had started a complete outrage inside the bar as money and beer and thrown around. There is no fucking way you can do that with the time given. She hasn't even seen your face. One man yelled as he bet that Naruto wouldn't make it. You are underestimating his game, just look at Esdeath. Another man yelled, making everyone turn their eyes to Esdeath who was spying on Naruto with an enormous blush. While everyone was busy placing their bets, Naruto decided to play with Tear, the biggest party pooper in the guild the entire night. She had just sat on a chair near the exit and waited for the rest of her team so they could go back to the inn. Tear, why are you so boring? Come on, have a drink with me. I will celebrate as soon as we have won, but I choose not to drink tonight so I would avoid having a hangover tomorrow, it's as simple as that. She answered without emotions. You know you should live more in the now and let tomorrow's troubles be for tomorrow. Oh well, you don't need to drink to have, how about I give you a lap dance instead then? Naruto offered, but Tear didn't even get the chance before she was violently tackled to the ground. Are you trying to steal my man, you filthy whore? Esdeath screamed at her, trying to hit her in the face. A crowd starting to form around them, cheering them both on. People loved a good bitch fight. Ladies please, there is more than enough of me to the both of you. That was the last thing Naruto said before an empty bottle flew through the room and hit Naruto right in the back of the head. Morning, start of day 2. As the morning light hit Naruto, he quickly felt 3 things. The first, his head hurt like hell, the second was the nice soft feeling upon his chest, and lastly a wet feeling on his face. When Naruto opened his eyes, a naked Esdeath laid naked on top of him while she was licking his whiskers. This is so creepy, but it also feels so good. Naruto moaned, enjoying her wet tongue on his cheek. Are you two lovebirds ready? Naruto tilted his head to look at his other 3 teammates. Tear looked her usual self, Revi looked tired as shit, and Flare was blushing. Yes, just give her a minute more and I'm ready. Naruto moaned. When Naruto and his group arrived at the arena, Naruto was quickly surrounded by his fellow guild members. They were in their private long so nobody could hear them. Naruto, don't let me down, I have betted 30.000J on you succeeding. A man said as he showed Naruto a small clipboard with all the bets on. There was a total of 11.000.000J placed on that he would succeed and a total of 23.000.000J on that he wouldn't. Hey Revi, you put 30.000J in on that I would succeed, I really appreciate that, and what the hell dad, you bet against me? Naruto complained. But I have one question though, what is this bet about? Naruto asked, causing a total silence throughout the members. Allow me to explain, Revi offered with an amused smile. Basically you got drunk last night and made a bet that you would go balls deep inside that blonde fairy tale bimbo, oh, and you also promised me that I could record it. Revi explained. Somehow I don't remember the last part. Tear injected. Oh hey wait, how come most of you don't believe I will make it? Naruto questioned, the lack of faith struck him hard. Before anything else could be said, all the teams. Welcome back everyone to the second day of the Grand Magic game. Today's guest in here is Jason from Sorcerer Weekly, who will also later today take the pictures of Lucy Heretophilia due to the bet made yesterday. The mention getting many pumped up already. The second event this year is Chariot. Now everyone please choose your participant so I can explain the rules. Also please note that you can't choose the same person who participated yesterday. With that said, over the speakers Naruto turned to his group. Alright, so who is up today? Naruto asked. Actually you bragged last night about how you would get 10 points in this today, so I believe it's your turn. Tear stated. I'm just happy I don't have to do anything today. Revi said as she held a bag of ice up against her heart. I believe in you darling. Esdeath cheered him on. Alright, I don't mind, I'm up then. Naruto announced. Makarov, have you noticed that masked man's magic power? Mavis asked as she sat and watched with a skeptical eye. You mean the fact that I can't sense it at all? Makarov asked. This had bothered him too. The man gave of a dangerous wipe, but in terms of magic, he seemed harmless. Participants. Alexei from Raven Tail. Sting Yukla from Sabertooth. Agile Red Fox from Fairy Tail Team B. Yuka Suzuki from Lamia Scale. Ichiya V Kotobuki from Blue Pegasus. Bristly Law from Mermaid Heel. Bacchus Grow from Quattro Cerberus. Natsu Dragneel from Fairy Tail Team A. As soon as everyone was mentioned they all disappeared in a bright light and screens appeared all over stadium so everyone could see what was happening. Alright, this is very simple. It's a race that will take place on this moving vehicle. All magic is allowed except for flying and teleportation magic. The judge spoke. This could be really problematic for Raven Tail since they sent in the guy who is wearing heavy armor to a race. Yujima spoke over the speakers just before the gong sounded and the race began. The second the platform started moving the three dragon slayers all fell headfirst into the ground. Naruto was lucky enough to get a good start and get into first place. They were right, he wasn't really fast in this heavy armor, but he could make sure that no one would pass him by. However, Naruto wasn't prepared for Bacchus to send tremors through the platform and destroying them, and Naruto was in the unlucky position that the platform quickly whipped up and sent poor Naruto soaring to the sky. This isn't Pokemon. Naruto screamed as he disappeared in the sky looking like a faraway star. All the Raven Tail members there were looking was completely pale, except for Revi who was sleeping. Wild. Bacchus screamed as he set his tempo up and quickly ran and jumped from platform to platform. He was just about to cross the finishing line when a weird sound reached his ear. It sounded kind of like a man screaming. The next thing he knew was darkness as Naruto crashed with his armored head right down onto his head. Wild. Quattro Cerberus muttered as Bacchus was knocked out on the ground right before the finishing line. Sorry, Naruto apologized to the unconscious man. While Naruto apologized, three other people crossed the finishing line and Naruto followed suit, slowly walking into a fourth place. Oh well. Second event. Mermaid Heel 10p. Lamia Scale 8p. Blue Pegasus 6p. Raven Tail 4p. Fairy Tail A 3p. Fairy Tail B 2p. Sabertooth 1p. Quattro Cerberus 0p. So that means we still have a total of 0 points, even with Bacchus. All of the Quattro Cerberus members would soon have a depression. Leaderboard. First Raven Tail 24p. Second Blue Pegasus 22p. Third Lamia Scale 21p. Sabertooth 19p. Mermaid Heel 14p. Fairy Tail Team B 4p. Fairy Tail Team A 4p. Quattro Cerberus 0p. There was a small break before the battle would begin. Naruto was apologizing to his teammates when suddenly Naruto got an unexpected visitor. Hello sir. Alexei, my name is Jason from Weekly Sorcerer. It's a pleasure to meet you. He spoke as he extended his hand, which Naruto shook. He shook my hand. Cool. Alexei, do you mind if I could interview you? Jason asked, and Naruto had a small blush behind the helmet. His fame it was growing too quickly. Of course not, please ask me anything. Naruto said in a voice filled with happiness. Alright, so your first name is Alexei, but what is your last name? Jason asked. Actually, Alexei is just my stage name. I would like to keep my real identity a secret for a bit longer. Naruto answered. Cool, a secret identity, alright, how old are you? He asked, ready to write down on a small note block. I will turn 18 next October the 10th. Naruto answered honestly. Favorite food? Ramen, food of the gods. Favorite color? Orange. Hobby? Become training my magic to become the best. Something you dislike? People who judge too quickly. Your words to live by? If you can't be happy, then at least you can be drunk. All of you answers are so cool. Alexei, if you are interested, then later today I'm having a photo shoot with Jenny Realite from Blue Pegasus and Lucy Hertfilia from Fairy Tail, but if you're interested, I would love to have you in it too, but I should warn you that Lucy will be naked, so if you find that uncomfort. Jason stopped himself when he could see blood leaking from the mask. I do it. Of course I do it. I mean, sure, sounds like an honor, I will look forward to it. Naruto answered, maybe a bit too eager. Cool, I will find you after the games and then we will all four drive to where the pictures will be taken, is that fine? Jason asked with a smile. Yes, it's amazing, thank you so much, I will pose for you anytime, just call. Naruto said, shaking the man's hand. Naruto was alone in the booth with Jason when he was interviewed, so all the girls was a bit confused when they walked back in only to see him doing some kind of victory dance. Alright everyone, the break is now over and we can finally begin on the battles. However, I need to make a small announcement that Natsu Dragneel and Ichiya Vandalay Kotobuki have both been substituted for today's battles since they both were exhausted after the chariot event. And with that said, let's take a look at today's first battle. Naruto was fully ignoring the commentator and was busy thinking about all the excitement he would have later as he began to drool from the mask. Raven-tailed Stobi Horhoda, lay me a scale. For fuck's sake, fine, I finished this quickly. Revi cursed as she drew her guns. Just don't kill him, Revi. Naruto said as he had somewhat calmed down a little. Good luck, Revi, do your best. Flare cheered her on. This is going to be an easy win for her, right, Tear? Esdeath asked. Tear kind of answered. Well, everyone took it as a yes. When the gong sounded, Toby was the first one to attack Paralysis Claw. Mega Jellyfish. He yelled as he slashed towards Revi with his long fingernails. Revi quickly lifted both her guns, stopping the attack from both sides. Say goodbye. Revi said with a small sadistic smirk. Goodbye to what? Toby yelled, however all of a sudden an unimaginable pain traveled through his body. He looked down to see Revi's boot clearly connected with his jewels. To your family future. Revi answered as blood began to drip from his pants. Arg not wild. Were his last words before he passed out. Every single man in the arena was currently holding their crutch, just imagine the pain hurt, every single male felt sad for Toby. The winner is Revi from Raven Tail. You could actually hear the pain in the man's voice as Toby was taken off the field on a stretcher. Bacchus Grow, Quattro Cerberus Selfman Strauss, Fairy Tail A. So the substitute got to come out and play, however the Fairy Tail members didn't look too pleased by the outcome, even before the battle began due to Bacchus making a perverted wager. Alright, Naruto was a pervert too, but he never saw women as objects that could be wagered in a bet, so he was strongly rooting for Elfman. The start of the battle was rather one-sided with Elfman taking quite the beating, however that was only because Elfman was on a constant offensive. It became a much more even ground as soon as he decided to go defensive instead. Every impact upon Elfman's skin rang throughout the arena as a loud boom. It finally ended when Bacchus fell on his back. He had exhausted his magic. Elfman was declared the winner and there was some cheering in the arena. It wasn't an amazing fight, but it was entertaining for two low-level mages. Jenny Reelite, Blue Pegasus Smarahin Strauss, Fairy Tail B. Naruto was currently sitting with his camera taking pictures as the girls decided to fight with modeling, and the wager they had made Naruto feel like heaven. If Jenny wins, Mira will go with to the photoshoot instead and she will be all nude, but if Mira wins, Jenny will do the photoshoot nude. No matter what, it was a win-win for him. Naruto took even more picture as more girls jumped in and joined the party. As Naruto took a shitload of pictures, he even looked to his own group, but they didn't seem interested to join. Well, Esdeath offered him a private session, maybe later. The audience was going crazy, screaming and cheering at their loudest so far, and then everything went quiet when some small old lady decided to jump and destroy the party. Naruto felt like something inside him died right there, and while everyone was preoccupied, Murahin finished Jenny off, which meant he would be seeing her boobs later on. Happy Naruto. And now for today's last match, everyone. Kagura Mikazuchi, Mermaid Heel of Saikino Ujira, Sabertooth. Naruto thought that they were both two beautiful women, but they both looked super depressed. It looked like Yukino was sure she would win because she decided to wager her own life in this fight against her opponents, a stupid thing to do under all circumstances. Oh, so she is another celestial spirit wizard. Does that mean all 12 keys are in this arena? Naruto asked as he watched the fight. Neither of them were weak, but what he was most interested in was the keys and that special sword Kagura was carrying. He could feel the malice flowing from the blade. It reminded him of his own sword, but he didn't think there would be another of them. The skies and the very air darkened when Yukino pulled out something she called the 13th gate. It didn't have the same magic signature as the other keys, like there was nothing good nor bad inside, but just an empty beast. All the other celestial spirits all had their own personality and emotion, but not this one. Naruto's attention was jerked away from the battle when he had a strange feeling that he was being watched. He looked carefully to his side, but there was nothing there. However, what Naruto didn't realize was that he was currently giving Mavis the creeps. Can you see me? Mavis asked Naruto, who just stared blankly in her direction. Must just have been my imagination. Naruto muttered as he looked back at the battle. There was about to come to a close when Kagura defeated the 13th gate. What an ending on the second's day. It's been a perfect day for Mermaid Heel, who goes from a small 4 points on day 1 to a total of 24 points at the ending of the second day. But it's not been such a good day for our defending champions in Sabertooth, who only managed to get 1 small point today. Raven Tail is still in the lead now with an astounding 34 points. See you all tomorrow. With that said, the speaker was turned off and the leaderboard once again came up. Leaderboard. First Raven Tail 34p. Second Mermaid Heel 24p. Third Blue Pegasus 22p. Lamia Scale 21p. Sabertooth 19p. Fairy Tail Team B 14p. Fairy Tail Team A 14p. Quattro Puppy 0p. You are actually starting to feel sorry for the Puppy Guild, aren't you? Naruto asked while his eyes were turned to the leaderboard. Nah, fuck those guys. Revi said with a cruel smirk. Erling, can we return back now and then we can celebrate our first place, just the two of us? Esdeath said, running a hand up his chest armor. As nice as that sounds, I can't because now I'm going to become a supermodel. Naruto yelled the last part to the heavens. Naruto began to giggle perverted when he imagined all the pictures he would take with Lucy and Jenny. Is Naruto okay? Flare asked, and Naruto was curled up in a corner laughing creepily. Seems like his normal everyday behavior to me. Tear spoke. Anyway, you girls can just go back to the inn. I will come back later tonight. Naruto dismissed them as he was running around in his own little world. Alright, but if you are not back before 9 tonight I will come looking. Esdeath whined. Hi, Naruto waved them off. As soon as the girls were gone, Naruto was approached by Jason. Alexei, are you ready to be cool? Jason asked with a huge smile. I was born cool. Naruto instantly answered, matching the grin beneath the mask. Naruto followed after Jason out of the arena to wagon. Lucy and Jenny were already waiting inside. Jenny looked fine and calm, well, she was a professional, however Lucy looked nervous and embarrassed. It's your fault that I'm here because of what you told the audience yesterday. Lucy said with anger in her voice directed towards Naruto as he sat down next to Jenny. Hey, it was Flare who asked me to make the bet public knowledge. I had nothing to do with it. Naruto lied through his teeth. Oh really, and then you being here is just a coincidence? Lucy asked, narrowing her eyes at him. Yeah, Jason asked me to model too, due to my raising popularity, isn't that right? Naruto asked Jason. Through Dude Raventail's great performance, Alexei here had quickly risen to become one of our fan favorites. So he will be in the magazine next week too. Jason explained. But Alexei, I need to ask you to remove your armor for the pictures. I know you want to keep your identity a secret, but the magazine won't come out before the games are over, so isn't that cool? Jason asked. Well, I guess that's fine. Naruto spoke as he felt all eyes on him as he was about to remove his mask. Somewhere inside he wished he could have pulled the old another mask joke. When Naruto removed his mask, showing his shoulder-long blonde spiky hair, his crystal eyes and his whisker to the three people, their reactions was mixed. Jenny quickly changed her focus out the window, pretending not to care. Jason thought he was so cool, and Lucy seemed confused. She had probably expected some kind of gross old man. Naruto didn't know where they were going, but he did get an idea when Jason said that the first couple of images will be in swimsuits. Wow, you guys got your own beach? Naruto asked as he walked around in sand. No, it's just rented out to us, but we won't be disturbed, isn't it cool? Jason screamed. There was a vast collection of different swimsuits to choose from and a small screen to change behind. When they came out, Lucy and Jenny were wearing a small two-piece bikini. Yes, Naruto likes. Naruto whispered to himself as he inspected their bodies. When Naruto came out after having changed into his swim trunks, there was a clear blush with Lucy, who forced herself to look away. Jenny wasn't that shy. Wow, you have a body sculpted for modeling, is this really your first time? She asked while she admired his muscles. Yeah, but I trail like 1,000,000 times a week. Naruto lied as he started flexing. Whoa, that's amazing. Lucy spotted a massive sweat drop. Did she actually believe that? Doing the pictures was one of the greatest moments in his life, as both girls would push their barely covered breasts in close to him so he could feel them on his back and chest. There was a picture where Jenny was smearing him in lotion while straddling him. Cool. Jason screamed as he continued taking pictures. Lucy sat in between Naruto's legs, both her arms were up around Naruto's neck and his hands were placed just beneath her breasts. Naruto was half of the entire time looking at both girls' chest and cleavage, but the half he used trying not to get an erection. However, Naruto's favorite picture there was taken was when it was time to cash in the bets. Lucy's face had been in a complete crimson. The magazine was technically not allowed to show nudity in their pictures, so Naruto had taken place in a chair, where Lucy took place on his right leg and Jenny on his left. Naruto's arms sneaked around them and covered up their breasts while they had both their hands up playing with their hair, all the while Naruto sent a smirk to the camera. It made for the best picture of all time. In 1,000 years people will look up in the sky and pray to the god of fertility Naruto. When the photo shoot ended there had to be at least taken around 500 pictures. They were then driven back into town where Jason said goodbye, leaving the three. So do you girls want get some dinner, my treat? Naruto offered. And no thanks, I need to get back to my guild. Lucy said as she turned around and left. He clearly has had some sort of impact on her, he just hoped it was a good one. I would love to. I can't possibly refuse a gentleman such as yourself. Jenny smiled at him. 4 hours later. Arg. Naruto grunted as he filled up the third condom that night. Naruto was lying naked and sweaty on the bed, with an equally naked Jenny on top of him. They engaged in a hot lip lock as Naruto slowly pulled out of her. They were currently in one of the capital's many love hotels. That was amazing, Jenny, but I'm afraid that it is getting late and I need to return to my teammates. Naruto spoke looking up in her blue eyes, his hands running down her back. I guess I have to go back too, Master Bob must be worried sick. Jenny muttered as Naruto helped her get her bra back on. I'm relieved actually I had heard some rumors about you being in a relationship with Hibiki from your guild, but I'm happy that they are not true. Naruto said, cause then maybe they could do this again out in the future or they could start something more serious, however Naruto was suddenly cut from his train of thoughts. Oh my god you are right how am I ever going to explain this to Hibiki? She said panicked. Eh? You, this is all your fault, how could you bring yourself to sleep with me knowing I had a boyfriend? Jenny said in anger that was now pointed his way. How can this be my fault, I heard a rumor, why did you even agree to sleep with me if you had a boyfriend? Naruto asked her. I don't know oh god, what am I going to tell him, I basically just slept with the enemy. Jenny paled even further. Equip Naruto said as he got all his golden armor back on. Now Jenny as I see it there is two options. First you can be honest with him and accept the consequences or all of this was just a really amazing pleasure-filled dream. Naruto said as he was slowly backing out the room. And if by any chances you want to have the dream again in the near future, you know where I live. Naruto said before disappearing leaving Jenny alone with a mixed feelings. Chapter 2 End. Story start. If anyone were to look at Naruto, they would see a big man dressed in a heavy armor skipping happily down the street. It looked extremely ridiculous to be honest. Naruto had just left the Love Hotel, Jenny would leave it a little later, or that would say she would leave as soon as she could walk again. It was a little past midnight, but Naruto still had one little errand he needed to do before he returned home to the inn. Naruto gazed up at the Crocus gardens where the HQ of the Sabertooth were located. Boom. And it exploded. Perhaps I should visit tomorrow instead. Naruto asked himself as he took a step to the side to avoid flying debris. Nah I might as well join the party, Naruto seemed to enjoy talking to himself. When he finally reached the peak of the hill he was exhausted, due to the stairs there were like 8,000 steps or something like that. When Naruto entered through the main entrance to the guild it looked completely abandoned, well except for a small sound in the distance. What a shame Naruto thought as he continued wandering around inside the guild, the walls, floor and ceiling were all clean, but there were cracks in everything, who in the world would do something like this? This was going to be expensive to fix. Naruto after some time arrived at another port, he could hear there was people on the other side and was about to knock on, when suddenly. Get out of my way. A man came flying right through the gate and collided with poor Naruto. Well hello there what is your name? I don't believe we had the pleasure of meeting yet. Naruto asked the unconscious man on the floor. Alright then don't answer no reason to be rude. Naruto said as he continued through the gate. Hello there I hope I'm not intruding. Naruto said as he managed to get everyone's attention as he crawled through the hole in the door. Raven jerk. Naruto looked up to see a fairy tale member, he had forgotten his name. Oh it's you Luigi, Naruto said. It's Natsu you idiot. He yelled. I apologize, but I simply can't remember the name of every little bug in my way. Naruto taunted. I'm going to kick your ass, but first I kick yours. Natsu yelled as his eyes turned to a big old man behind him, he had an extremely muscular physique, so that was the master of Sabertooth. A raven or a fairy it doesn't matter, you are both uninvited guests here. For a moment Naruto thought he was blind, he didn't have any pupils, but the way he walks and talks said something else. Don't worry I can wait for my turn, Naruto said as he leaned up the wall, waiting for Natsu to finish whatever it was he wanted. Or we could save all our energy for the games tomorrow. A new voice said stepping out of the shadow holding a bound cat. Natsu, I'm sorry. The cat cried. Happy? Natsu again yelled, like seriously why couldn't he just talk like normal people? If you leave I will give you him back unharmed. Minerva said with a smirk. However the smirk quickly turned into an expression of confusion when she felt the sudden weight loss in her arms, looking down the cat was gone. Wicked I've never seen a talking cat before, can you use magic like us humans? Naruto asked as he held Happy in his arms, he realized he might have been a bit rash and was about to put Happy down since he could see the fear in his eyes. Get your hands off him. Fire Dragon's iron fist Naruto looked up to see a fist hitting him straight in the middle of the mask, causing him to fly back through the wall, and then another wall, until he flew all the way out the building and down the hill. Naruto landed right in the middle of a park around a mile away from Sabertooth HQ. Jesus violence all they know about in fairy tale. Naruto asked himself as he picked himself up from the ground and cracked his neck. Crack. Naruto took off his mask to see it had been split in half, then fuck it, I just talk with them tomorrow, if I'm lucky Yukino will still be there. Naruto grumbled to himself, totally ignoring the terrified couple he had landed in front of. Naruto tiredly dragged his body back to the inn where they stayed, everyone inside were asleep, Naruto was tired too, so silently he stripped down until he was completely naked and then carefully snuggled up behind Tear in her bed. Next morning. Naruto was standing in the middle of the room with a clear red smack imprint on his right cheek. Alright, listen up, I know we are currently in first place, however we need to start making it a bit more exciting. Naruto said as they were standing outside the inn ready to leave for the arena. Just tell us what you mean already. Revi said, clearly she hadn't got her morning drink. From now on only do half your best. If we go on and win with 20 points every day we will bore the audience and the reader, we will still win the battle of course, but I don't mind if you slag on the events. Naruto said as he pumped his fist in the air. That sounds like a stupid and reckless plan, what if we get behind another team? Tira asked. Have I ever led any of you astray? Naruto asked them all. Yes. Tira answered. Yeah. Revi answered. A little nervous Flare pointed out. No. Esdeath quickly defended him. And that's my point, you can all trust me, now let's go. Arena. Welcome back ladies and gentlemen for the third day of the Grand Magic game. Today's commentators will be myself Chapati, our beloved second commentator is Ujima, and today's guest up here is Leher Arun Knight Captain. The commentator Chapati spoke over the speakers. Now Leher, I'm sure you have followed the games this closely as anyone else, what do you think? I guess you want me to tell you about Raven Tail who have made quite a show this year, but the funny thing is that Raven Tail has actually been around for some years, but first a couple of months ago decided to become a legal guild, and it isn't that hard to become a legalized guild, the Master Ivan could have done so years ago. Leher said. Very true, but if you had to say anything about Alexei, especially since he is actually more mysterious than Mystigan, and also what about last year's winner Sabertooth who is all the way down on a 5th place? Well, we know for once that yesterday Alexei were during a photoshoot for Weekly Sorcerer with Lucy Hertfilia and Jenny Reelite, and I have a hard time imagine him doing that in his armor, so when the magazine comes out next Saturday, I'm sure we will see him there. Leher answered. As for Sabertooth, we are only just beginning the third day. There are still plenty of points to get about. Leher said. Alright, finally, who is the biggest potential winner this year? Well, they are all potential winners, well except Quattro Puppy. I mean, could you imagine? All of the commentators had started to laugh hysterically. Wild. A weak murmur could be heard. Now without further ado, let's go this year's third event's Pandemonium. Participants. Noberly from Quattro Puppy. Urza Scarlet from Fairy Tail A. Anna Alberona from Fairy Tail B. Organonagir from Sabertooth. Juranikis from Lamia Scale. Ibiki Lates from Blue Pegasus. Milana from Mermaid Heel. Esdeath from Raven Tail. Naruto, if I do well, can I have a reward then? Esdeath questioned. Alright, if you make a satisfactory show I will reward you with a kiss and we will go to Riseu Land tonight and take the love ride together. Naruto said, he could already see Esdeath's imagination running rapid. However, should you fail in my simple demand, everything I just said I will do with flair. Naruto spoke as a huge blush spread across Flair's cheeks. Esdeath sent a cruel stare her way before she left for the middle of the field. Naruto stared briefly towards Hibiki who was flirting with Kana, so that was Jenny's boyfriend. She could do a lot better, someone like himself. Alright everyone, please listen while I explain the rules, Kabo the funny little pumpkin man said. Now blah blah blah. Naruto was seriously zoning out, I wonder what Jenny is doing. What should I eat later on? Is there a meaning with life? I challenge 100. Naruto looked up to see Urza Scarlet enter the palace. Tear-eye dazed out, bring me up to date. Naruto said as he looked at what was happening on the screen. Whoever kills the most wins, but if Urza takes all 100, there won't be an event for the others, you get it? Tira asked. Yeah, but wouldn't she get first place anyway by just challenging 51 of them? Naruto asked. Maybe she just likes to show off like you. A small rain cloud appeared over his head, is that such a bad thing? Naruto questioned as he looked back towards the screen. Urza Scarlet. Naruto closely observed her movements, they were perfect, she didn't waste a single motion, her equip were flawless too, however that would not change that Esdeath would have already killed all 100 of them by now. There were still place for some improvements. Naruto's mood only grew fouler as he could see the audience beginning to cheer her on, he was supposed to be the favorite in everything, no matter so Fairy Tail would win one event, there was no way that would come back to bite him. Finally the last monster fell, a supposed S-class monster. Ugh, this is problematic, Kabo. Alright, this may be a bit boring, but we still need to rank the other teams, introducing the MPF also known as Magic Power Finder, it's simple, hit it with your best magic, the highest score wins, Kabo, he explained. First up we have Noberly from Quattro Puppy. The commentator said. This will be our moment, wild. He screamed as he charged at the MPF 6. Leher, we didn't really set a benchmark, is it a high score? Chapati asked. No, it's downright pathetic. He answered harshly. Alright, secondly we have Hibiki Lates from Blue Pegasus. Hibiki decided to strike a fabulous pose before attacking 42. Again, not that high, 40 is the standard around soldiers in the army. Leher said. Naruto was busy glaring daggers at him as he was comforted by Kana. Alright, next up Milana from Mermaid Heel. Everyone in the audience had hearts in their eyes, Naruto too, as she threw off her cloak to show some very revealing clothes. I'm going to win this for all kitties in the world. She is so cute, every guy thought before she made her attack 365. Much more impressive, a score like that is enough to get you promoted to a captain. Down below Milana was sending the peace sign to all her fans. Now up is Esdeath from Rave. Wait, why is she leaving? Esdeath were already on her way back to her teammates. I'm not leaving, I'm only gaining some distance. She answered with a smirk. The other participants looked at their feet and saw that it was getting darker, they looked up at the sky, and everyone's jaw dropped to the ground. What the fuck, Kabo? A giant ice meteor was falling from the sky, everyone else quickly ran to safety. Esdeath, you made sure it's not big enough to hit any civilians, right? Naruto asked her. Of course, darling, the only ones who could get hurt are the other participants unless they quickly get some distance. She happily answered. She blushed when she felt a hand on top of her head. Good job, Esdeath, you have definitely earned your reward. Naruto praised her. The moment the ice fell down and hit the MPF, the ice cracked up and left a big dust screen all over the arena. When it disappeared, they could see the score 34-20. Holy shit, I mean, excuse my language. Next up is Ogre from Sabertooth, or well, he is up as soon as we have cleaned the arena from ice. And thus everyone took a break for a small hour. When it was Ogre's turn, his attack was nowhere near as impressive as the one before, but he did get a higher score, 38-25. Esdeath couldn't care less, she was promised her reward, she didn't care about points right now. Next up is another one of our all-time favorites, Jura, one of the 10 wizard saints. Jura looked perfectly calm as he approached the MPF. He got an amazing score on 85-44, which again left the audience flabbergasted. So far the number has only been growing, but I'm having a hard time imagining that beating Jura. They were all looking at a drunken Kana who was stumbling around. I could take advantage of her like that. That was exactly not what Naruto was thinking. You had to be pretty fucked up to be thinking of something like that. Do your best. Naruto began to cheer her on as Kana began to strip of her clothes. Oh, she had fairy glitter. Naruto questioned as he saw the mark on her arm. Kana actually destroyed the MPF 99-99. Yay, we didn't win. Naruto cheered as the leaderboard was shown again. Third event. Fairy Tail A 10p. Fairy Tail B 8p. Lamia Scale 6p. Sabertooth 4p. Raven Tail 3p. Mermaid Heel 2p. Blue Pegasus 1p. Quattro Puppy 0p. Honestly, if we were rock bottom, I think I would keep this mask on forever. Naruto said as he felt sorry for the puppies. Leaderboard. First Raven Tail 37p. Second Lamia Scale 27p. Third Mermaid Heel 26p. Fairy Tail Team A 24p. Blue Pegasus 23p. Sabertooth 23p. Fairy Tail Team B 22p. Quattro Puppy 0p. I still think our lead is too big, I mean we are practically humiliating everyone else. You heard me, you losers are all going down. Naruto decided to taunt all the other guilds. It appears that Alexei from Raven Tail is not very good at making friends. Leher decided to point out. Who needs friends when you have all those girls? Ujima silently whispered to himself with a blush as he used a lacrima screen to zoom in on Esdeath's cleavage. Did you say anything, Ujima? No, nothing. Now let us take a look at today's first match. Milana, Mermaid Heeled Sems, Quattro Puppy. So I'm not the only one thinking Milana is going to win easily, right? Chapati asked the other commentators. Right, Ujima and Leher quickly agreed. WYO, fuck it. Milana, I will be your kitty anytime. Naruto yelled as he was waving a banner with her around. Thanks, big guy, I really appreciate it. She said and winked in Naruto's direction. During the small fight, Naruto only paid Milana attention, completely ignoring them seaman guy. It lasted for only a short moment with Milana winning. Quickly moving on, the next fight is between Rufus Lore, Sabertooth Sieve Tierm, Blue Pegasus. This fight, while also shortly, was much more intriguing. Rufus used some ancient magic, which managed to pique Naruto's interest. Eve, who uses snow magic, was clearly a better sensory type mage than a fighter and easily lost to Rufus. That girl Rufus sure is cute. Naruto said as he watched Rufus leave. Behind him the 4 other girls were discussing if they should tell him or not. There ought to be some good fight today. Everyone could hear the commentator who had clearly forgot to turn off his microphone. Ah yes, here it is really. Wendy Marvell, Fairy Tail Ave Seria Blendy, Lamia Scale. When both girls ran in, they both stumbled and fell. Oh. Everyone in the audience uttered they were simply so cute. Naruto sat on his chair with a stern expression. Beneath his mask, he knew something like that would happen. However, no matter what was about to happen, he would not feel the slightest bit sexual aroused. That was his goal. Sky gods bellow. A powerful dark wind pushed Wendy back and left her blue with white stripes panties on full display to the audience. "Naruto, are you alright?" Esdeath asked as she saw some blood dripping from his mask and the Mount Fuji-like tent in his pants. His mission had already failed, he was aroused. "In my heart I know it's a taboo, but why must I have the feeling of a damn lolicon?" Naruto cried. No, this can't be true, I like big boobs." Naruto screamed for everyone to hear, and both girls who were fighting were also looking at him. There were a small silence before a tiny voice could be heard from somewhere with the audience, "Me too." And another voice yelled in agreement. "Big boobs. Big boobs. Big boobs." Suddenly the entire audience were chanting it. Wendy was smart enough to finish her opponent off during the confusion. Surprisingly, that was the best fight of the day. Now let us move on to the all big final for today. Laxus Draer, Fairy Tail Beeve Selixe, Raven Tail. Now we know for a fact that Laxus is a very powerful lightning mage, however we haven't seen any kind of magic from Alexa yet, so Yujima and Leiher who will win. Well, right now I can't possibly imagine Laxus losing. He is a strong S-class mage with plenty of experience, so my money is on Laxus. Yujima answered. I agree with Yujima, but I'm sure Alexei will surprise. We in the Magic Council do remember the power of Laxus, however for now I guess on a draw. Leiher said. Naruto could barely hear the audience screaming, he could feel his heart pound in his chest. Was he nervous or maybe it was excitement? He wasn't sure, he could see his older brother get closer and closer, he could even remember the familiar mug. Laxus, Naruto muttered barely high enough for him to hear. What do you want? Laxus questioned once he heard his name was mentioned. You are going down. Naruto had a growing smile beneath his mask, he would make sure, giving his proud big brother a royal smackdown. Ong. The second the match began, Laxus disappeared from sight in a flash of lightning and reappeared behind Naruto. Laxus was just about to hit him from behind, but a long chain shot out of Naruto's hand and pushed him up into the air. Chain magic. When he was high enough, Naruto sent him spiraling towards the ground. When he hit the ground, it caused a great crater and a big dust screen to show up. Was that it? Naruto questioned, only to be met with a fist straight to the face. Naruto skidded along the ground several times before he came to a stop. Geez, that hurt and you got my armor dirty. Naruto complained. Laxus didn't give him any chance to get back up and quickly appeared by his side. Oh boy, Naruto muttered. Lightning Dragon's lightning bomb. Both Laxus' hands slammed down into the ground, causing a huge lightning explosion. So you can use teleportation too? Laxus questioned as Naruto stood on the other side of the field. Of course, that's easy and I can still do a lot more, want to see? Naruto questioned as two long chains shot out of his hands and towards Laxus again. However, instead of Laxus being grabbed, he instead caught the chains and yanked them so hard it sent Naruto flying towards. Lightning Dragon's lightning fist. Laxus' fists were just about to connect with his face, however something else happened that left all the fairy tale mages shell-shocked. Fire Dragon's iron fist. There was a major explosion between fire and lightning. Naruto quickly jumped out of the inferno and felt a hand on his shoulder. Looking up, he could see the angry face of his older brother. How do you use the same magic as Natsu? Naruto could hear the anger in his voice. Looking towards Natsu, he could also see the clear anger in his eyes. Beat me and I tell, Naruto challenged. Fine by me. Laxus yelled. The next thing Naruto knew were his breath leaving him as Laxus had punched him straight in the stomach. Naruto was about to be sent flying, but Laxus instead grabbed his leg and slammed him down into the ground like a rag doll. Naruto was finally sent flying along the ground. Lightning Dragon's roar. When Naruto finally stopped skidding along the ground, he was hit by the roar, sending him smashing into the wall. Slowly Naruto fell down from the wall on his knees. There were major cracks in his armor and it wouldn't last much more. Master Makarov. Ivan is heading this way. Warren told Makarov the information he had just received from Biska. My son is. Makarov looked down on the fight. It looked like only a couple of moments away for a victory to Laxus. Shortly after, Ivan entered the door. Ivan, this place is for fairy tale members only. Makarov said in a stern voice. Oh, I know, father, but I couldn't help myself. I wanted to see your face when Laxus loses. Ivan said with glee. So far it doesn't look like it will end that way. Makarov answered, looking towards the fight. Alexei is just playing a little, or should I say Naruto is just playing. There was a clear change in the magic around Makarov by the mentioning. Ivan, if you are joking about something like that, then I will kill you. Makarov said, his voice filled with anger. Master, who is Naruto? Warren asked. He was my second grandson, but he went missing by the age of 4. Makarov answered, shocking the others. I never knew, and that guy in the mask is him? Levi asked, now looking more closely, looking at the guy who was being thrown around by Laxus. You were gone for 7 years, did you think it impossible he found his way home while you were away? Ivan questioned looking at the match. Naruto was being lifted by his throat, now let us see who is beneath the mask. Laxus was about to take off his mask when he was kicked in the side, sending him sliding away. Looking up he could see a second Alexei. Clone magic too. Laxus said annoyed. Suddenly a lot of clones came rushing in from the entrances to the arena until there were almost 1,000 of him. Now the Mr. Anderson, it's time to wrap this up. The original said as all the clones began to attack. Laxus disappeared in a quick lightning towards the sky with the intention to wipe them all out in one fast move. However, just before he could roar, another clone appeared beside him and grabbed him. Together they flew towards the ground. When they landed with a big crater, cracks began to form in the ground before it completely cracked beneath their feet. They fell right through the floor. Some of the clones dispelled when they hit the ground, however those who made it quickly threw themselves onto Laxus. The pile grew until you could hear the sound of crackling. Enough. Laxus yelled. His clothes had been ripped, he was looking buff as hell, and he had activated Dragon Force. Lightning Dragon's raging bolts. Lightning started to slam down in every clone until there was just the original one back. Well, this is Naruto didn't get to finish as Laxus appeared before him and slammed him once again the stomach. He was then quickly grabbed in the neck and slammed head first into the ground. Before he was thrown in the sky above. Lightning Dragon's heavenward halberd. Laxus threw a lightning spear towards him. Ice make. Shield. However, the spear easily traveled right through the ice and slammed into Naruto, who shortly after landed with a thud. Naruto's body was smoking and his armor was falling off in pieces as he shakingly raised himself from the ground. Laxus looked annoyed that he still wouldn't stay down. Fine, I will end this. He yelled as a magic light appeared in his two hands. Fairy law. Naruto didn't receive any warning, only the blinding light approaching and then silence. I did it? Laxus questioned as Dragon Force started to disappear. Fairy sphere. The voice shocked Laxus. Whoa, I was really lucky there. A moment later and I might have been in trouble. Naruto answered, he armor gone, only standing in some black torn pants. While Laxus was shocked that he defended from fairy law, he was more shocked to see the person standing in front of him, but he was too exhausted to do anything, he couldn't even shout. Sorry big brother, but I'm ending this now. Ancient magic. Real. Ong. Eh? Naruto questioned. Ooh, everyone what a fight, but time's up and both are still standing, so it ends in a draw. You got to be kidding me. Naruto screamed in wrath. Naruto quickly flew up from the hole they were in and looked at the screen. 0 o'clock. Many people now able to see his body thought two things. Firstly, he was hot. Secondly, why didn't he have a single scratch? Laxus had been the offensive one and Naruto had taken quite a beating, but he looked completely fine. Fine then. Oh, and also you can write me up as Naruto Dreyer from now on. I don't need to use my cover name anymore. Naruto yelled. As the name on the screen changed from Alexei to Naruto Dreyer. Naruto then sadly dragged his body back to his friends. He had too much fun and forgot the time. Story starts. There was a tense silence in the fairy tale stand while they were all watching the fight entering its final phase. Laxus is really a strong mage, Mavis praised watching on the screen. Laxus held fairy law in his hands, ready to take out his opponent. When Laxus clasped his hands together, a bright light filled the screens and for a moment nobody could see what was going on. When the light disappeared, almost all the fairy tale members were in shock, well, except for those who didn't even know the spell Naruto had used to counter fairy sphere. How? Only extremely talented and fairy tale members should be able to use that spell, not even mimic magic would be capable of something like this. Mavis said, and in her confusion she turned to Makarov, who had his head turned back and was crying wildly. That really is Naruto, ugh. Makarov said as his tears continued to fly. Laxus passed out as soon as the match was called a draw. They could also see Naruto throwing a hissy fit and finally the name on the screen changed from Alexei to Naruto Dreyer. I did think he looked a lot like Laxus when I first saw him, but I never imagined this. Lucy said as she looked on the screen in disbelief along with her teammates. I never knew that Master had a second grandson, when he said, and the others agreed with her. They never knew either, and they would have to speak to Master about this. Meanwhile, outside the arena, Naruto was currently being scolded by his dad. He didn't really listen. What he found most interesting was the sound of some distant wailing. The sound was only growing, and finally he could see a crying dwarf approaching at a dangerous speed. Naruto? Makarov yelled as tears were shooting from his eyes. Naruto looked stern for a moment before he turned happy too. Grandpa. Naruto outstretches his arms and was tackled by the crying dwarf. Ugh, Naruto mu W7 Sedilla 5 U umlaut 5.3/4 mu 67 cents key, and Makarov wailed. I don't understand you at all. Naruto said due to Makarov sputtering complete gibberish. I'm so happy you are still alive. Makarov cried harder, however his attention was dragged away when someone poked him on the shoulder. When he turned around he saw the blue-haired Esdeath. Nice to meet you, I'm Naruto's wife and your granddaughter-in-law. Esdeath presented herself as polite as she could and Makarov's eyes almost popped out. "You're already married. Oh, I missed the ceremony." Makarov cried as he sat on top of Naruto's chest. "Well, it's rather one-sided marriage, with me telling her we are not married and her insisting that we are," Naruto said with a smile. "But talking to you, old man, but we are going to go celebrate and then to Riseu Land, there is a discount for guild members and the sun is already setting," Naruto said as he stood back up and left Makarov with Ivan. All fun and happiness had left as Makarov and Ivan stared at each other. Later with Fairy Tail. Once again Fairy Tail was busy celebrating inside the Sun Bar now that they finally held a third place. They only had to beat Mermaid Heel and those Raven Wankers. "Alright, listen up." Makarov spoke in a high voice as everyone became silent. "Now I'm sure all of you already have heard of Naruto, and yes, he is Laxus' little brother," Makarov announced. Instead of an uproar, the silence continued. Naruto had been the talk on their lips for the most of the day. "Now I don't know what, but clearly Naruto must have some kind of motive, that has to be the reason he is in Raven Tail. Now I know he is currently in Riseu Land, so this is an order from your master, find his motive and tell to me. Think of it as a scouting mission." Makarov explained, clearly not thinking Naruto would be a member of Raven Tail without some other motive. "And I just fight him to learn his motive?" Natsu asked and was slapped by Urza. "Natsu, not everything can be solved with violence, there is also other means," she said as she pictured herself in her seduction armor. Riseu Land. "Wow, it's huge and it looks like it's midday even though it's nighttime outside," Lucy said as she admired the huge water park. "There are a lot of people, even this late it's going to be hard to find him," Urza pointed out. "Wait, why are you wearing your underwear, Kana?" Urza asked. "Well, finding the right swimsuit is such a drag, so I just went like this," Kana said as she waddled over to the bar. Guys, look over here." Kana called from the bar. When they went over they saw the gun-wielding member of Raven Tail Revi in her all-black two-piece swimsuit passed out surrounded by booze. She was also famous for sterilizing Toby from Lamia Scale. What do we do with her?" Lucy asked. She was a little scared by Revi. "Oi, wake up, where is Master's grandson?" Urza asked as she wildly shook Revi. "Fuck off, Naruto," Revi muttered before she slammed her head back down onto the table. "You two can continue to look for him, I'm staying here and we'll try to get more information from her," Kana said, trying to come up with a reason for staying and drinking. "Alright, good luck, Kana," Lucy said as she and Urza continued their epic search. "Haha, this is awesome, they have a water train, ugh, I'm getting sick." Natsu was currently on the lookout too from his all-around the park water train. "Lucy, Urza over here," Mira yelled as she and Lysana was on the other side of one of the many pools. "You two are here too, have you seen him?" Urza asked them both. "No, but we did see that short-haired blonde lady who hasn't been fighting yet, and also Jenny from Blue Pegasus is here." When I asked her she turned completely red and began to run away. Lysana answered Urza. "Lucy, you told me that Master's grandson and Jenny went eating after your photo session, right?" Urza questioned Lucy. "True, maybe she knows something," Lucy muttered, now wondering if she should have gone with them as well when Naruto offered. "Don't worry girls, I will make her talk if she knows anything," Mira said before she ran off while seeping a dark perverted aura which made Lucy feel pity for Jenny. "Now we still need to find Naruto." "Lysana, you said you found Tyr in that direction, right?" Urza asked as she pointed towards west. "They had already found Revi, so maybe they should continue in that direction." "Yes, but she was just swimming around and when we tried to talk to her, she just ignored us," Lysana answered as she now followed Lucy and Urza. Finally, after a long search, they came to a big open spot where they saw Naruto resting with his head in Esdeath's lap. Either Esdeath had not noticed them or she didn't care about them as her hand slowly stroked through Naruto's hair. Lurking behind a table, the three girls talked about what to do now. "It's simple, I'm going to talk to him," Urza said as she stormed towards. Lucy's sweat dropped. Clearly Urza did clearly not know the meaning stealthy. Urza approached with a fast pace. When she got was just in front of them, she had to stop as flying ice spikes surrounded her. "What do you want?" Esdeath asked with a soft voice, her eyes never leaving Naruto's sleeping face. Urza, having nothing to say to Esdeath and passed the spikes off as Bluff lightly kicked Naruto's feet. Naruto opened his eyes when he felt that his head was falling. Esdeath was in front of his, her foot firmly planted in the stomach of Urza Scarlet, who was sent flying. "WW what?" Naruto questioned, not knowing what was happening. Esdeath began to charge and Urza requipped into her standard armor. "Fire Dragon's Roar." Naruto heard as he saw Esdeath jumped into the air to avoid Natsu's attack. "Ice Make. Lance." Esdeath was about to dodge Gray's attack, but before she got the chance they were all shot down by Revi. "Are we fighting now?" She didn't even wait to hear Naruto reply before she threw herself into the fight. Naruto continued on growing more and paler as more people joined in the fight. Naruto finally reached his boiling point and was about to stop the fight when he heard a distant scream. Kaya stopped Sharia when he laughed as Sharia threw water on her while they both rode on a floating banana. Naruto had lost all attention on the fight. Naruto, aren't you going to help stop the fight? Flare asked standing by his side. I wish they would ride my banana, Naruto muttered. What? Flare quickly asked. Yes, what? Oh right, the fight. Naruto stated before quickly running into the mass of fighting. Crimson Latsu. Exploding flame blade. Natsu yelled as everyone was blown away. The last thing Naruto registered was panic as he felt his swim trunks being blown away and shortly after landed on his head. Opening his eyes to quickly look around, Naruto sat back up. Right in front of him he saw a sight made for gods. Urza had landed on top of Esdeath and their lips were firmly pressed against each other. Naruto began to laugh as both girls quickly sat up, began to spit and wipe their mouths. However, nobody else thought it was funny. Instead they were all staring at him in utter shock. What is something on my face? Naruto questioned. Mommy. Naruto could hear a little girl say before she was quickly scooped up by her father. Don't look, Asuka. Alzak said, shielding her eyes. Eh? Naruto said before he felt a weird wet suck around the tip of his sausage. Naruto didn't look down, instead just growing more paler by second until he had a weird whimper beneath him. Looking down, he saw that he had his tip in the mouth of a green-haired female mage by the name of Biska. Later. Naruto was currently being carried back to the inn bridal style by Esdeath while sobbing a little. That was fucking gorgeous. How come I never have my record, Lacrima, when you do awesome shit like that? Revi said, having the time of her life. It was an accident, for once you aren't to blame. Tear said, trying to offer just a tiny bit of comfort. Tell that to her husband. Revi said, laughing, causing Naruto to cry harder. Fairy tale, son bar. Forgive us, master, we failed in our task to find his motive. Urza apologized. That is not your fault. Something like this could take days and I have decided to ask him myself after the games are over. But when that is said, what happened to Biska? Makarov asked, confused when she came running in and have been washing her mouth ever since. Nothing, Urza quickly responded before taking her leave, trying to push the image out of her head. Next morning. I said no. Naruto yelled as he was under his blanket. He was too depressed to go to the magic games today. I fought yesterday, I don't even have to be there. Naruto muttered as he curled into a ball. Naruto, we aren't allowed to compete if we aren't 5. Flare spoke, but Naruto just turned around. Use Kurehebi, he is our reserve after all, just leave me here in my pity. Naruto muttered. They all gave out a heavy sigh. Leave me alone with him in 5 minutes. Tear said. Fine, if you think that will help. Revi said before she took off. Flare followed shortly after and finally Esdeath after kissing the side of his head. I'm not going, Tear, I'm a horrible person. What if I see her? I wouldn't know what to do. Naruto sulked. It's not your fault, if anyone it was the guy who sent us all flying into the air. Tear said as she laid herself down onto bed with him, her front pressing up against his back. Naruto felt her hand sneak around his hip until it reached somewhere Tear had never touched before. Well, this is unlike you, Tear, Naruto said in pleasure as he felt her starting a stroking up and down. Naruto grunted and groaned as time went on and Tear went into a faster pace. It didn't take long for Naruto to almost reach his end. Tear, almost there. Naruto groaned and so she stopped. So let me guess, you will only let me come if I go to the games, right? Naruto asked in annoyance with a twitching eyebrow. Correct, she simply responded, her green eyes looking into his crystal blue. Fine, just finish already, I promise. Naruto muttered. That was good enough for Tear as she cupped the head and went back to stroking it. 2 minutes later Naruto walked out the door. Alright then, let us do this. Naruto said, much to the surprise of the other girls. Wait, where is Tear? Flare asked. She is washing hands. She will be here in a minute. Arena Day 4. Welcome back everyone to the now 4th day of this year's Magic Games. Now Raventail is still very much in the lead and has taken the place as this year's favorite winner over Sabertooth. Today's guest commentator up here with me and Yujima is Rabian, a leader of a famous theater group right here in Crocus. Thank you very much for having me. Yesterday we met Naruto Dreyer and we have done our research. He has actually been missing since the age of 4, but like his older brother he was a lightning mage, a description that doesn't quite suit yesterday's battle. Well, for now let's start the next event. Naval Battle. Participants. Some guy from Puppy Guild. Jenny from Blue Pegasus. Sharia from Lamia Scale. Duvia from Fairy Tail B. Minerva from Sabertooth. Lucy from Fairy Tail. Bristly from Mermaid Heel. Tear from Raven Tail. Now to explain the rules, all competitors will be fighting in this floating sphere. The furs on who gets knocked out ends in last place. However, when there is only 2 in the sphere left, a countdown will begin. If you get knocked out while it is counting down, you will go from a second place to last. The commentator explained. What place should I aim for? Tear asked Naruto. Well, just don't be first or last and then everything is fine, do what you want. Naruto said with a smile, looking around the arena until he managed to see Bisco looking at him through the scope on her rifle, so she was actually ready to kill him. Finally everyone was in the sphere, and Naruto looked eagerly at all the girls, he even caught Jenny and looking at him with a blush on her face. Ong. And Rocker from the Puppy Guild is out. Seriously, he was in there for less than 2 seconds, everyone cheered that he was out, except of course for Naruto, who felt sorry for the puppies. While everyone else was fighting, Tear decided just to stand still and wait for everyone else to knock themselves out. Gray-sama's love. Tear saw a big spiral of water quickly approaching, but just before it made contact it changed direction. Amazing Juvia managed to knock out 3 opponents. They are already down to only half. Blop. Wait, no, Tear have decided to leave only 3, wait, where is Juvia now? Everyone looked after her only to discover her on the ground with everyone else with a confused look on her head. 5 o'clock. Oh, the timer has started. The last 2 were Minerva and Lucy, the outcome was clear from the start, Minerva would win, her magic was exceptionally well in this kind of situation. Time went on as Minerva continued to rough up Lucy, Minerva had already taken her keys. At this point Lucy just tried to not get kicked out. Naruto watched calmly as Lucy were being beaten around, however Fairy Tail looked a bit more agitated. Finally the time went out, they only needed to rank them now. Once again Lucy were kicked as she was on her way out of the sphere. Minerva was about to teleport her back, but Naruto redirected her magic, so Lucy flew straight out and Rocker from Quattro Puppy appeared before her. It was funny looking at all the confused faces, but he was sure that Minerva had noticed someone had redirected it. The winner is Minerva from Sabertooth. 4th event. Sabertooth 10p. Fairy Tail A 8p. Fairy Tail B 6p. Raven Tail 4p. Lamia Scale 3p. Mermaid Heel 2p. Blue Pegasus 1p. Quattro Puppy 0p. Not surprising, Naruto muttered as he looked at the dead last. Leaderboard. First Raven Tail 46p. Second Sabertooth 43p. Third Fairy Tail Team A 42p. Mermaid Heel 38p. Fairy Tail Team B 33p. Lamia Scale 30p. Blue Pegasus 24p. Quattro Puppy 0p. Alright everyone, we will now have a small break. The commentator said. Now at this point Naruto would usually go out and buy something to eat, but right now he was a bit too scared if he should run into a green-haired female mage for Fairy Tail. Esdeeth here, go buy me something to eat. Naruto said as he handed her his wallet. Nothing else was said before Esdeeth had already run off. Scared to go yourself? Revi asked, her tone oozing with mirth. And no, Naruto defended himself. Are you afraid of the girl or her husband, because what you did was amazing? Revi laughed, causing Naruto to fall to his knees. Naruto, seriously though, if you're going to bang her let me record it, I would pay you. Revi insisted. And no wives are against my moral compass. Naruto said in a low weak tone. Moral compass? Your moral compass is a fucking roulette wheel. Revi yelled at him, forcing Naruto down on all 4, and a small black cloud formed right over his head. Revi then took a sit on his back, causing him to go completely down on his stomach. Revi, that's enough. Tear said, sending Revi a glare. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Motivating Handjob. Revi mocked and found herself with Tear's blade at her throat. Flare looked like she tried to disappear into the corner of the room. Naruto, I brought meatloaf. Esdeeth said as she barged into the room. Naruto quickly threw Revi off him and ran up to grab the meatloaf. You can actually buy that here? Revi questioned, raising herself from the ground. Everyone, your attention please. The commentator said, as everyone stopped what they were doing to listen in. So it appears the Quattro Puppy has disbanded and have all left the city to live in exile. We have politely asked Fairy Tail to merge into one team, where they will keep the points of Team A. The commentator explained. Fucking pussies, Revi commented. Nah Revi, they are dogs. Naruto corrected. Kagura Mikazuchi and Milana, Mermaid Heel of Sachiya and Nichiya, Blue Pegasus. Both Kagura and Milana have fought before, so we can battle again today, even if you have been battling once already. Naruto muttered as the fight had begun. Well, it didn't really matter, beside right now all he wanted to know was who the hell was in that rabbit costume. Slowly the rabbit took of its costume to reveal a cat formed as Ichiya. There was a deadly silence in the stands. I will now tell you tale about how our beautiful friendship was made. Ichiya said, however before he could say anything else Kagura had passed both of them, they both let out a whimper. Men, before they both passed out. And Mermaid Heel is the winner. Was announced. Revi and Tear, Raven Tail Pseuronicus and Lion Vastia, Lamia Scale. With her? Both Tear and Revi asked, sending each other glares. Fine, but I will take the saint. Again both of them said, both wanting to be the one to take out Jura. They continued arguing and finally. Ong. The moment the fighting started, everyone tilted their head in confusion when Tear sent Revi flying to the side with a kick. Tear quickly followed by making a downward slash with her sword, which called a lightning from the sky. The skies began to darken and rain began to pour. Seeking bullet X-100 Revi fired towards Tyr. The attack was cancelled out by Lion's incoming ice eagles. Water snakes. The water that fell began to take the form of multiple snakes. Both Lion and Jura quickly used a pillar to get up higher, since they quickly reformed if you destroyed them. Revi was busy dodging them and running around. Cannon shot. Revi fired a bullet right through both pillars, forcing both of them back down. Iron rock palace pillars started forming at the edges of the arena and forming a large roof about them, stopping the rain and entering the arena and forcing people to watch the fight on lacrima screens. Supreme King Rock Crush. Rocks flew up from the ground towards Tyr, and Revi, intending to close them in. Tyr, with no more water, used her sword to cut right through some of the rocks, but was still hit multiple times. Revi, however, was by far the most agile on the entire team and managed to avoid every single rock thrown her way, running while shooting after Jura and avoiding every single ice attack by Lion. She sees it down Tyr after having been hit by some of the rocks and delivers a quick kick to her face. Naruto had his face hidden down in his hands. Revi had to do a small turn when an earth pillar shot up in front of him, however, as soon as she stopped just slightly, Tyr had shot up after her and with a wide swing she cut off Revi's left arm. Revi screamed in pain and Tyr grabbed her face and slammed her down into the ground and thus Revi became silent. "I'm finishing this now," Tyr said through some of her lacking teeth, and yellow aura surrounded her, and then Ong. The match was over. "Oh god, that was probably the most violent fight yet. I hope Revi is okay," the commentator said. Both Jura and Lion were shocked too at the brutality. Men were running in, but Naruto called them off. He scooped up Revi in his arms and Tyr put her arm on his shoulder as all three disappeared. Reappearing at the infirmary, Tyr took place in one bed and Naruto put Revi down on another. Naruto put his arms on both girls and their wounds quickly began to heal. "Tyr, your teeth," Naruto said as Tyr opened her mouth and Naruto stuck a finger inside her mouth. She wanted to bit down on it. It hurt like hell as new teeth grew out in the empty spots, but she looked towards Revi with a small smirk, knowing she had the worst coming with her arm. Revi slowly opening her eyes and seeing Tyr on the other bed. "Fucking whore," she muttered, raising her right arm across her face. "What you both did was beyond idiotic, especially for you, Tyr," Naruto scolded. "Boy, fuck you too, why fucker," Revi said, trying to be funny, only see Naruto's eyes looking back at her, not an ounce of mirth in them. "Revi, not in the mood. You should know how much I hate infighting in our group. Now bite down, this is going to hurt," Naruto said as he stuck a finger into her open wound. Narg. It felt like she was being burned as Naruto slowly pulled out a new arm. When Naruto was done, Revi was covered in sweat and even a few tears had fallen. "Get some rest," Naruto said. It wasn't a request, it was an order, and with that he teleported away. Revi didn't mind as she quickly fell into bed. "So what did I miss?" Naruto asked as he reappeared besides Flare and Esdeath. "The next fight has already begun, look like Fairy Tail is winning." "Holy Shadow Dragons Flash Fang," both Sting and Rogue said as they used their unison raid. Crimson Lotus Exploding Flame Blade. It was a strong version than the one he used last night at Raizetsu. When both attack collided there were a big flash of multiple colors before it subsided to reveal Natsu as the last man standing. "Rogue, what are you doing on the ground?" A voice Rogue didn't recognize asked him. "Who are you?" Rogue questioned the voice in his head. "Me? I'm your shadow, of course, but I'm not important. Use the gift. The man from Raven Tail gave you such a strong gift, so use it." This confused Rogue. The voice had to mean Naruto. The next thing he knew was that he let out a powerful scream as dark marks stretched down his back. "Oh, Rogue is getting back up." Natsu turned back. He was sure that he had won, but was met with a fist straight in the face, sending him flying backwards. "Arg!" Rogue screamed. He quickly appeared behind Natsu and slammed him down into the ground. Perhaps this was a bad idea, Naruto muttered as he looked at the fight. Rogue was out of control. Rogue was about to throw another punch which Natsu managed to grab and hold onto. Ong. The time for the fight was up, but Rogue kicked Natsu in the side, sending into a nearby wall. He was just about to charge after him, but Naruto appeared behind him and with a quick hit to the back of the neck, Rogue saw darkness. Quickly, before anyone saw it, Naruto stuck 3 fingers into Rogue's back and retrieved a small item he had left there, a brown lacrima, more precisely the Earth Dragon's lacrima. But from this little experiment, he could at least tell it wasn't a good idea to be in control of more than one. Oh well, he would have to do more tests later. Leaderboard. First Raven Tail 51p. Second Sabertooth 48p. Mermaid Heel 48p. Third Fairy Tail Team 47p. Lamia Scale 35p. Blue Pegasus 24p. Oh, that marks the end of the 4th day. It is a close run, and tomorrow on the finale, there will be plenty of chances to win more points. See you all then. Wait, where is the rest of my meatloaf? Naruto questioned, looking around in panic. Chapter 4 End. Fairy Tail, Sun Bar. The bar was an absolute mess. Chairs were being thrown around after each other. Natsu had completely recovered from his fight earlier the day against Sting and Rogue, while Gagiel still hadn't returned after Natsu pushed him down a mine. Meanwhile Makarov was sitting silently on a chair near the bar, thinking on the guild's current placement in the games. They were basically 4th place. Both Sabertooth and Mermaid Heel were in front of them with 1 point, while Raven Tail was leading with 4 points, a total of 51 points. They had to win the games. When they did, Naruto will finally see the error in joining a corrupt guild like Raven Tail and come crawling begging to join Fairy Tail, just like he always wished for when he was little. "Alright, listen up, punks," Makarov yelled as he jumped up to stand on the counter. 2 days from now will be the final day of the games, and we are all going to win and restore our rightful place as #1 guild in all of Fiori. Makarov announced and was met with a loud roar of applause and celebration. "And then we are going to have Naruto join our guild." This time he was met with silence. Most people in the guild still had trouble believing that anyone in Raven Tail could be an okay guy, but they trusted their master, and if he was sure Naruto was fine, the other would believe him. Of course, there was the problem of Alzak still wanting to rip Naruto's throat out after putting his thing in Bisca's mouth back at Raizetsu, even if just by accident. "If it's that blonde guy you are looking for, then I saw him when he passed by, he is signing autographs in the main square." Gagiel spoke as he just came in through the door. The rest of the guild then watched as Makarov ran out of the guild heading for the main square. But Naruto wasn't afraid of admitting it. He was a true attention whore. He loved watching the long line of women and children there had gathered to get his autograph. Well, there were mostly women and children, a few men. Guess he was just more popular with a certain crowd. To Henrietta loved Naruto Dreher. Naruto spoke as he handed over a picture to a woman with a blush adoring her face. This continued for quite a while as Naruto met many beautiful women and adorable children. As the streets grew darker, the line began to get smaller. Naruto wasn't looking when the last in the line placed a picture on the table for him to sign. The picture was that of a little baby he did not recognize, but he did recognize the boy besides the baby. His older brother Laxus looked to be around 10 years old. The baby must have been him. "Hey, Grandpa." Naruto spoke as he had to lean over the stand just to see his grandfather. "Hey Naruto, can we talk?" Makarov asked, somewhat a little nervous. "Sure. Would make." "Chair." Naruto spoke as a chair spewed from the ground beneath. When Makarov sat on the chair, he sat right in front of Naruto with only a stand between them. "So Grandpa, what did you want to talk to me about? I promise I will answer everything to my best ability, but there are also certain secrets that I have sworn not reveal." Naruto spoke. "I'm sure, though I'm quite interested now. Can you tell what happened the day you vanished?" Makarov asked. That day was still one of the most horrible of his life. "Sure, well, I went into the forest near our home to practice my magic, and by accident I fell down a hole, and well, from there a whole lot of other things happened which I can't really talk about," Naruto explained. "Fair enough, I won't push the issue, but then when did you come back and for how long have you been a part of Raven Tail?" Makarov asked, and Naruto could see this was important to him. "Well, I've only been in Raven Tail for a little month." Naruto spoke and saw Makarov instantly lit up. "Me and those I were traveling with were on a rather long-term mission, and by chance we came past Raven Tail. There I met Dad, and well, one thing led to another, and I joined if only because I was curious in these games. You know, Grandpa, the day I heard about Tenru Island was the saddest day of my life, and I'm sorry for just up and vanished that day. Grandpa, I love you, you know, both you and big brother Laxus." Naruto spoke as he avoided eye and looked down on the table in front of him. The next thing that happened was that Naruto was brought into a hug by a crying Makarov. "Can you forgive me?" Naruto asked in a solemn tone. "Stupid child, there is nothing to forgive." Makarov spoke as he continued to embrace his grandson. Further away from the scene, we find quite the little group spying on the touching scene. "Well, this turned out quite different than we had thought." Gray spoke. The usual fairy tale band composing of Lucy, Natsu, Gagiel, Gray, Urza and Wendy along with their exceeds. "I'm just so happy for our master." Urza spoke with a smile and closed eyes. "Maybe that Raven jerk isn't as bad as I thought." Natsu admitted. There was nothing in Naruto's voice there could imply he was lying or acting. He seemed serene and sad. "Hey, I think I might get sick just looking at them." Gagiel spoke and was instantly met with hostile stares. "We need to move on." Gagiel continued as he wished to share what he found under the arena with the rest of the team. Back with Naruto and Makarov, they had decided to continue their little conversation. "You told me you had a long-term mission before joining Raven Tail. Does that mean you are already part of another guild?" Makarov asked. He didn't care that it would be a violation of the rules in the games, seeing as how they were breaking the rules to letting Gel participate. "No, I'm not a part of another guild. Well, to put it simply, my job is to bring my boss some of his old books which he is dissatisfied with, so he can modify them. Though I wasn't given a time limit, I thought I could have a bit fun before going straight to work," Naruto answered. And what are you planning to do after Fairy Tail win the games? Makarov asked, sending Naruto a challenging look, which Naruto returned. So sure you are going to win? Last time I checked my team were in front, but if it's Raven Tail you are thinking about, then I leave the guild shortly after the games, though I would feel bad by just walking out on dad. He keeps talking about you and something called Lumen Histoire. Naruto spoke and caught Makarov's attention. You don't have to talk about that Lumen thing, Dad told me it was something important to Fairy Tail, and he even asked me to try and push answers out of Laxus during our fight, but I don't really care about that Lumen thing, I'm just here to have fun, maybe Dad will kick me out after the games. Naruto continued. Onto another topic, most of your group is composed of girls. Makarov asked with a grin that Naruto quickly returned with even more intensity. They are all wonderful, I can truly say I care for them. Well, Flare is nice, too, however she is the only one who was a part of Raven Tail before me, the rest of the girls joined because I did, but as you probably saw earlier today, they don't get along that well. Naruto spoke, remembering back to the fight Revi and Tear had in the middle of the stadium. I'm sure Lamia Scale didn't mind, if you don't mind me asking, is any of the girls especially close to you? Makarov asked, curious. Well, they are all precious to me and I in all honestly fool around with quite a lot of women, but I guess there is one woman in particular. Naruto spoke and Makarov noticed how Naruto's face almost seemed to soften as he talked about this woman. She has short loose golden hair reaching to the base of her nape, her eyes are light brown, and she walks around with a small smile that always stops my heart. In short, I guess she is my sunshine. Naruto spoke with a soft smile. It's been good talking to you, Makarov answered as the two sat in silence. Yeah, it's been good talking to you too. Final day of the games. Tear, are you fucking ready? Revi yelled. What are you yelling about? Ready for what? Tear questioned, watching Revi approaching with a huge smirk. Ready to give Naruto his daily motivate. Revi was cut off as Tear had grabbed her head and slammed it into a nearby wall, making a small crater. Revi then slumped down on the floor with a bloody face. Tear, you shouldn't let her get to you like that. Naruto spoke as he checked on Revi to see if she was still breathing. Naruto used his magic and began to heal her face. When Naruto was done, Revi jumped to her feet and looked at the crater in the wall where her head had been bashed in. Are you trying to kill me, you fucking whore? Revi screamed in mad anger. Revi was about to attack Tear, but Naruto sneaked a hand around her waist and held her close. You two can fight all you want, but later when we are done here, for now we need to put on our best faces for the audience, but Tear, Revi is right, I really could use a handjob. Tear then promptly smashed Naruto's face into a wall, making a new hole in the wall next to Revi's. Naruto quickly got back up on his feet when he heard the commentators speak. And finally, the guild that has taken all of Crocus by storm the last week. Raven Tail. A gate opened up in front of the team. When they walked out they could see the stadium cheering them on. Looking toward Fairy Tail, Naruto wondered why they had decided to swap Natsu out with Juvia. Natsu wasn't especially hurt last he saw him. Leaderboard. Raven Tail 51p. Sabertooth and Mermaid Heel 48p. Fairy Tail 47p. Lamia Scale 35p. Blue Pegasus 24p. On the final day of the games, the judges have decided to end this with a bang. The final game will be an all-out battle between all the guilds. The ground this battle will take place on will be all of Crocus. The next thing that happened was that all the teams were teleported to random points in the capital. Naruto and his team landed right outside the church. Look Naruto, we can get married here. Esdeath spoke with a small blush. The rules are simple, all teams must choose a leader. If you take out an enemy from another guild you gain 1 point, but if you take out a team's leader you will gain 5 points, all magic is allowed, the game will begin in 3 minutes and this time please choose a leader. The commentator spoke over all the speakers in Crocus. When the 3 minutes had passed and all the teams had chosen a leader, the group from Raven Tail split up so Naruto was alone while all the girls were together. Naruto slowly began to wander around the city not looking for anyone in particular. Meanwhile with Mermaid Heel, they had decided to split up into 3 groups with Milana and Beth Vanderwood, while the other team was composed of Verona Webb and Risley Law. The final team was Kagura sitting all by herself, waiting for the enemy to come to her. Your name is Esdeath, right? Kagura asked when she saw the tall woman from Raven Tail. And you're Kagura and the sword in the hilt must be archenemy, tell me, do you know how to use it? Esdeath asked, a bit glee in her voice. Why don't you try and see? Kagura was cut off when Esdeath shot herself right at her with a speed that caught Kagura off guard. Kagura barely evaded it by jumping high into the air, an ice pillar quickly spewed from the ground and was about to slam into her. With a flick of her sheeted sword the ice pillar crumbled to the ground. I thought you were better. Esdeath spoke, sounding disappointed. And the anger from her comment clearly showed on Kagura's face. You have seen nothing yet. Kagura spoke as she grabbed the hilt of her sword and prepared to charge. Make a move and I blow your brains out. Kagura's eyes widened in shock when she felt a gun pressed to the back of her head and on her throat was another blade. Revi was standing behind her with a gun to the back of her head, while Tyr was standing beside her and holding her own blade to Kagura's throat. Flare was the last to make her appearance as she popped up behind Esdeath after the girls had asked her to sit back. "Holy shit, are you really the strongest in your guild? What a shitty ass guild." Revi spoke, not at all impressed by how easily they had caught Kagura off guard. Kagura was both shocked and angry, shocked for how easy she had lost this fight and angry at the bitch behind her badmouthing her guild. "Well, I guess this is it, we surrender." Esdeath spoke and for a moment Kagura turned completely blank. The reaction was pretty much the same for the entire audience who had followed the fight on a screen. My beloved Naruto meant he was more than capable to win the games on his own, but also wanted his favorite guild to get a better chance, thus he told us to surrender to Mermaid Heel. Esdeath explained before the four women was teleported away because they forfeited and was forced to leave the arena. Mermaid Heel 52P1L4M. Raventail 51P1L0M. Sabertooth 48P1L4M. Now that Mermaid Heel has taken the lead, here is a quick overview of the top 3 current guilds. Mermaid Heel is in the lead with their leader and still 4 members due to the generous act of the Raventail leader who now stands alone. The commentator spoke. Naruto couldn't help but smile when he heard of his generosity over the speakers. He still hadn't found anyone yet and he hoped he could get to fight either that wizard Saint Guy or his brother again, this time without a time limit. Agra from Sabertooth have defeated Risley and Arana from Mermaid Heel, gaining 2 points for Sabertooth. Naruto heard as he continued walking through the streets. Men. Naruto looks above the sea, one of the midgets from Blue Pegasus jumping at him. Before he even came close, Naruto swatted him into a nearby wall with wind magic. Naruto from Raventail defeats Uchiha from Blue Pegasus and gains 5 points. Naruto stopped for a second and looked at the man, he was the leader. Poor guild. Bray from Fairy Tail defeats Rufus from Sabertooth and gains a point, while Milana from Mermaid Heel defeats Uchiha from Blue Pegasus and also gains a point. Naruto heard over the speaker when he finally came to a clearing and met a bald man with a long beard. "Arg, you are Jura of the Wizard Saints, correct?" Naruto asked as he approached the man. "It's quite rare that I meet someone who is not aware of whom I am." Jura spoke with a little grin of everyone. This was the exact man he was hoping he would get to fight. As Naruto looked at the man, he couldn't help but feeling a little disappointed. This man was supposed to be one of the 10 strongest people in Ishgar. "Well, I would love if we could go straight to the fight, so do you wish to make the first move or would you prefer if I did it? Trust me, I will end up winning either way." Naruto questioned him only to be mildly annoyed as Jura kept his hands at his side, not bothering to raise his guard. "I can see you are stricken with vanity, don't worry, I promise to teach you some humiliation." Jura spoke as his magic power began to rise, creating a thick white aura around him. Naruto remained unimpressed. "Rock crush." Jura spoke as big rocks began to shoot out of the streets towards Naruto. Before any of the rocks hit Naruto, a big root shot up from the ground and completely surrounded him, protecting him from the rocks. After the bombardment of rocks was done, the root disappeared back into the ground to show that Naruto was gone. Jura then quickly put up an earth wall behind him to protect his back. "Up here." Naruto yelled as he quickly descended upon Jura, but when Naruto came close enough, Jura reacted quickly and caught Naruto by the neck. Jura was about to slam him into the ground when out of the corner in his eye, he saw another Naruto sitting on a nearby roof, flashing a big grin. Boom. Boom. Naruto gleefully looked how his clone exploded right in Jura's face. When the dust settled, he saw Jura had reacted in the nick of time and created a small pyramid around himself. When Jura walked out of his little defense, he could see that the arm he had used to hold his clone was badly bruised and burned. "I didn't know that wizard saints would fall for such obvious traps. I thought you would teach me some humility." But with only one hand, Naruto was cut off as the ground around them began to shake. "You talk too much, rock avalanche." Jura spoke as several boulders were sent flying towards Naruto, who stood still. "Forest emergence." Naruto spoke as thick roots shot up from the ground and blocked the incoming barrage of boulders. The roots continued until they had formed a small forest all around them. As the spell had continued, Jura had seen Naruto's body change. It had become brown and twisted, while his hair had become light green, and then he just disappeared. "Interesting magic. It's rare to meet anyone capable of using forest magic, so what are you going to do next?" Jura questioned as he stood still in the small forest. "Me? I'm not going to do a damn thing. You on the other hand will have to escape before it's too late." Naruto spoke through the forest, his body nowhere in sight. Jura was about to question further before what is too late, but then he felt it a small tap on his magic, so this forest was absorbing his magic power. Looking up, he could see that there were vines covering the top of the forest. He guessed they must be stronger than they looked, so he wouldn't just be able to use a pillar to get up high and jump out of the forest. He tested his theory out by sending an earth pillar up into the sky, but as expected it couldn't break through the vines. Jura reacted quickly when a root came at him from the side with great speed. He avoided it by simply stepping to the side, however he was taken by surprise when Naruto emerged from the root and slammed his fist straight into his face, sending him flying along the ground before Naruto disappeared back into the wood. Come on, do something already. Though fighting a wizard saint would at least be a challenge. Naruto's voice ringed through the woods. Great Earth Arena. Jura spoke, a hint of anger in his voice. He was clearly tired of getting mocked by Naruto. A big arena began to shoot up from the ground and lifted the entire forest on top of it. Now with the forest raised high into the air, it was easy for Jura to step out. Well, I suppose that is one way to go about it. Naruto spoke as he jumped out of the woods, his normal appearance back. With Naruto no longer inside the wood, the forest quickly began to decay and die. The moment Naruto jumped down from the arena onto the ground, a huge magic seal appeared on the ground. This ends now. Rumbling Mount Fuji. Jura spoke as Naruto was instantly surrounded in a wide explosion. The explosion was visible for several miles and caught the attention of all of Crocus. Even back at the arena, where people were following the fight on multiple screens, could just look up into the sky and see the tall explosion take place. When the explosion stopped, Naruto could be seen barely standing on his feet. He had several major wounds on his torso and some serious gazes on his head too. The only piece of clothing left on him was some badly damaged shorts. Jura was just waiting for him to fall over, but instead he quickly regained his foothold and his wounds were closing at an extreme pace. I've seen better. Naruto spoke to the now shocked Jura before Naruto clasped his hands together and taking the same stance as Jura. My turn. Rumbling Mount Fuji. Naruto threw the same spell right back at Jura. However, unlike Naruto, Jura did not come out of it on top and instead slumped down onto the ground. Guess you will have to teach me about humility some other time, mister. Naruto spoke as he used Requip to change his clothes and then promptly left to look for some other kind of entertainment. Apparently there had been a couple of fights while Naruto had been busy. When Naruto looked on the leaderboard, then there had been a couple of changes. Raven Tail 61P1L0M. Fairy Tail 61P1L3M. Sabertooth 58P0L2M. Mermaid Heel 53P0L0M. Lamia Scale 35P0L0M. Blue Pegasus 24P0L0M. Naruto groaned annoyed when he saw his favorite guild had been taken out. The only ones left were the twin dragon slayers from Sabertooth, while Fairy Tail almost still had all its members, except that Gagiel had lost to Rogue. Urza had gained 10 points when she had won over both Kagura and Minerva. And the rest wasn't that interesting. Naruto continued to wonder about when the next announcement was made. Sting and Rogue from Sabertooth defeats Grey and Juvia from Fairy Tail and gains 2 points. Naruto at this began to hurry a little. If the Laxus lost to Sting and Rogue, Sabertooth would end up with 65 points, while he would only be able to gain 3 points more to his already 61. When the announcement came that Laxus and the twin dragon slayers from Sabertooth had all knocked each other out, Naruto was about to cheat in order to win, but to his shock it appeared that Fairy Tail had gained 2 points from Sting and Rogue, while Sabertooth only had gained 1 point for Laxus. They had made Urza the team leader. While Naruto was looking for the last fairy, there was quite a panic back in the Fairy Tail section in the arena. How can Urza possibly beat him? He beat Jura Wizard Saint with ease. Mikao spoke, even their master Makarov sat in silence having his doubts. Don't worry everyone. Mavis spoke as she got everyone's attention. Everything is going exactly as I had planned. Urza is going to win this, have no doubts. Mavis spoke confidently, while everyone looked at her astonished. She planned everything down to this moment, that's the first master for you. Wabaka spoke. Naruto finally managed to find Urza sitting on a bench nursing her left foot. Looks bad. Naruto spoke as he came closer. There was no sign of him ever even being in any kind of battle. Tell me, Naruto, are you aware that I have seduction armor? Urza questioned as she sent him a challenging glare. Naruto's face instantly woke up. What? And no, I did not know that. Naruto answered as his eyes looked everywhere except on Urza. I show you it if you surrender. Urza spoke. I surrender or I forfeit. Can I do both? Naruto yelled. Never had Crocus, the capital of Fiori, been so silent. Back at the stadium, the only one unaffected is Mavis, who sat with star in her eyes and was cheering. Yay, we won, we won. Mavis yelled, dancing, while Makarov and the rest of the guild almost turned to dust. The guild would win in a manner no one would have expected. I'm opening the eclipse. Raven Tail Knight. Slap. The guild was silent as Naruto had just been slapped across the face by his father. You were just as useless as your brother, you told me you could easily have won the games. Ivan spoke in anger that his son had purposely let Fairy Tail win. Well, I could, but honestly I rather see Titania from Fairy Tail half naked than winning some boring yearly game. As Naruto had spoken, his father slapped him once again. It's not about winning or losing, but you purposely lost to Fairy Tail, our enemy. Did you at least learn anything about Lumen Histoire? Ivan questioned Naruto, whose eyes were exploring the room. No. Naruto simply answered. While all this was going on, Esdeath was standing behind Naruto, her hand shaking as she tried to resist the urge to cut Ivan down. The only thing that held her back was Naruto and the thought that the man would be her future father-in-law. Levi didn't care and was drinking in the bar while Tyr was just watching it all unfold. Useless, you and your bitches. Ivan never even blinked before Naruto caught a bullet between his fingers that were aimed for Ivan's head. The fuck did you just call me, you piece of shit? Levi yelled as she was storming closer, ready to kill whoever had just insulted her. Levi, that's enough. I'm sure my father is very sorry for what he said. Naruto spoke as his eyes gave a small glint which seemed to put Ivan into small trance. Yes, of course I'm very sorry for what I said. Ivan spoke in a lifeless voice. Also, we are quitting the guild now, but I'm sure you don't mind. Naruto continued with a small smile. No, of course not. Ivan spoke. While all of this transpires, none of the other guild members did anything, clearly smart enough to avoid Naruto. Good, girls, we are leaving. Naruto spoke as they left the bar. Flare, are you sure you don't want to come along? You are more than welcome. Naruto asked Flare as they stood outside the bar. Thank you for the offer, but for now I would like to go home, but I hope to see you again one day. Flare smiled. Naruto was slightly disappointed. It wasn't often he was turned down, but when he would accept it. Then I wish you luck, Flare, till the day we meet again. Naruto spoke before Flare left them. So what are we going to do now? Tyr asked as they followed behind Naruto, who was about to answer when a loud roar could be heard throughout the city. Looking towards the palace, a humongous dragon could be seen. Well, would you look at that, someone fucked up. Palace. Hisui Fiori looked in disbelief upon the night sky as the dragons she had just released began to destroy the capital. She had been lied to. The Eclipse Gate was supposed to be their salvation from the Dragon King festival, but instead the eclipse would be their damnation. The eclipse was supposed to be a weapon that would kill the dragons, instead it invited them all into the capital and caught them off guard, and now 7 humongous beasts were flying above the city. The gate had been closed again thanks Lucy and Yukino, but it was already too late. There was no way they would be able to beat 7 dragons. Holy shit, you guys sure know how to hold a party. I might stop by again this time next year. Naruto spoke as his and his merry band came walking. I don't believe it was intentional to let the dragons inside the capital, Naruto. Tyr spoke. I know that, Tyr, I'm just trying to raise the spirit. Everyone here is looking grim, besides I always wanted to fight a dragon before. Naruto spoke as they approached the princess and the minister, but then Lucy came running towards them. Naruto, you need to help us, everyone is already fighting, but Lucy was cut off as a giant green dragon landed close to them. Ahaha, has so much delicious food, I wonder whom should I eat first. The green dragon spoke in glee, and with a blow of its breath all the soldiers present turned naked. That has to be the most useless magic I have ever seen. Levi spoke as she looked at the soldiers. Ha, you humans are tasty, but your clothes bother my teeth, so I got rid of them. I think that I will eat you first since I do prefer ladies. The dragon spoke as he looked at all the girls present. Ooh, it's a perverted dragon, say will you be my pet? Naruto asked as he extended his hand in peace. This of course gained him multiple sweat drops from the people watching the scene. You dare mock me? The jade green dragon roared before it with one claw lashed out against Naruto. However, before the dragon landed a hit, it quickly withdrew to the skies using its wings. There was a small silence around Naruto as they wondered why had the dragon retreated. Meanwhile in the skies the dragon was looking at Naruto with wide eyes. Had I attacked him just now, he would have killed me. Impossible, he is nothing but food. The dragon thought as it was staring down upon the blonde, who just gave the dragon a small smirk. Yo, dragon behind you. Naruto shouted from the ground, and when the dragon turned around it was met with an incredible, yet frightening sight. To humans dragons were humongous, but to the dragon what it saw was humongous to all dragons. The green dragon Zirconus watched as 2 huge human fingers caught him. Zirconus was with an immense speed brought far up beyond the clouds and into the vacuum of space where the head of the giant resided, only for the dragon to discover it was the same blonde as before. The eyes on this human was bigger than Zirconus, who for the first time in his life felt small and pure fear gripped his heart. Meanwhile down on the ground close to the palace, everyone just watched a green dragon roar in fear. What happened to the dragon? Mira questioned as they watched the dragon continue to roar. I placed it in an illusion, I'm guessing it's finally learning what it will mean to be small. Naruto spoke before he flew up towards the green dragon. Apocalypse Dragon's Claw. Naruto spoke before he hammered his fist down on the head of the green dragon, sending it towards the earth. When it landed it created a crater in the city. There was no fear of the dragon standing back up again, its eyes were rolled back and it laid on its back with an open mouth. Alright, 1 down, 6 to go. Levi and Tyr, you 2 power up. The moment H said that they were already looking at each other cruelly, but instantly stopped when they were hit by a bit of Naruto's magic power. You two would like to team up, right? Naruto questioned with a sweet smile. Oh, of course. Tear replied, I suppose it could be worse. Revi also spoke, scratching her chin before both girls ran off to get their own dragon. Alright, Esdeath, these dragons aren't so tough, you can deal with one of them yourself. Naruto spoke. He knew how strong Esdeath was, and from how easy he just took down this green one, they weren't above her level. Esdeath gave a little sigh. There went her hopes for pairing up with Naruto and gain some alone time. Understood, but Naruto, would you mind if I killed them? Esdeath asked. What? No, you can't kill them, they are not in control of themselves. Wendy argued. I suppose it would be better if we could avoid any unnecessary blood spill, but young girl, how do you know they are not in control? Naruto asked. Since he and the girls had arrived later, they hadn't been forced to listen to Rogue's long New Era speech. It's Rogue from the future, he is the one controlling the dragons. This time it was Mira explaining, but when she had told them, Naruto and Esdeath just sent her a blank look. Who? They both questioned. That guy from Sabertooth, the black-haired dragon slayer who frowns a lot. Mira tried to describe him, but they just continued to stare at her. He had a cat dressed as a frog. She tried as they both gasped, realizing who she was talking about. That cat is so cute. Naruto spoke, and Esdeath also had a small blush on her face. She had a weak spot for cats, and this one who was dressed up just struck a nerve. Alright, a quick change of plans. Esdeath, you will stay and protect the king and the princess, but mostly the princess. The last thing was barely a mummer. Well, I can hear someone far away calling out my name in desperation. I'll be right back. Naruto spoke before he teleported away. He liked to see himself as a hero, and thus when people called out to him he always answered. Meanwhile, Lion Vastia was calling out two names in desperation. The first name he was calling was Sharia. His guildmate and the strongest healer he knew. The second name was an odd choice and showed how desperate he was. Over the last few days he had seen the blonde Naruto from Raven Tail use several different magics and had been winning everything without even trying. He never looked worried. Maybe he could help. Sharia. Naruto. Lion continued to scream until he heard a tired sigh behind him. Why couldn't it be a beautiful woman who was calling out my name? Anyway, what do you want? Naruto questioned before his shirt was grabbed by Lion. Please Naruto, it's Gray, please help Gray. Lion begged with a desperate voice and tears in his eyes before he fell to his knees. Naruto walked past him when he saw another man down on his back, the young beautiful Juvia sitting next to him with tears streaming down her face. When Naruto came closer and finally saw Gray, he couldn't help but slightly cringe at the sight. Quite a few and quite big holes adorned his body, both his heart and brain had been completely destroyed. Please, Naruto, can you help him? Lion asked on his knees. Please, who do you think you are talking to? I'm Naruto fucking Dreyer, there is nothing that I can't do. Naruto spoke confidently. Lion and Juvia looked at him hopefully for a second before Naruto took hold of one of Gray's hands. Juvia looked back at Gray and her heart was filled with hope as she watched the holes in her beloved Gray Sama slowly closed. When they were gone, Gray shot up and gasped for air. Juvia threw herself over Gray and turned to Naruto to thank him, only to find him sitting completely still with holes covering his body before he fell to the floor dead. Just the same as Gray, for life there must always be death. Lion had run away yelling for Sharia to come and help Naruto now, and much to Naruto's surprise, Gray had shed a tear for him, probably just in gratitude, and Juvia was also down on her knees, her forehead touching the pavement as she paid her respect to the dead Naruto, before her and Gray also had run out looking for Sharia. Gray sure is lucky. If it wasn't for such a beautiful woman weeping for him, Naruto wasn't sure if he would have gone through the trouble of bringing Gray back or not. Arg, dying fucking hurts. Naruto spoke as life began to return to his eyes after having been dead for a small 2 minutes. He began to cough up a bit of blood as he stood up, his blood being blue and glowing. Life and death magic is really one of the few things really affecting me. Naruto said before he was fully back on his legs, all wounds gone, and then he felt just fine, just like nothing ever happened. What are you two doing here? Naruto asked as Revi and Tear came closer, while Tear was holding the head of a purple dragon on above her head. Holy shit, I guess you weren't lying when you said you couldn't die. Revi spoke, making it clear they had been looking for quite some time. I never lied to beautiful women, good job with the dragon. Naruto spoke, he was about to move on, but their eyes lingered on him, showing that they still had some questions. I take it you want to know how? Naruto asked as both girls nodded before Tear dropped the head of the dragon and stepped forth. You have told us that including yourself only 5 people know your backstory, but I have been traveling with you for a year now and Revi for half a year, don't we deserve your trust? Tear asked. I trust you, of course. The reason I haven't told you is because it's not an interesting story, nor is it especially good, but if you wish to know I will tell you about the one magic. The bee continued. What if Naruto is Laxus' brother in Fairy Tail? End here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.